We are officially live. Welcome. I'm also going live on Instagram, so I'm doing two things at once.
Hi.
So once you find me on IG, then go ahead and invite me. And then I need to mute this. Then go ahead and invite. It gives you automatic feedback. So I learned how to do it. This is my second official live on YouTube. If you are joining us, welcome. Thank you for watching this. My name is Stacy Harder, and I am in this human experience as all of you, and this is my journey. And I hope through this experience, I feel I'm here to support, to love, to teach. Ooh, I need headphones. Where's my headphones? So I'm here to support, love, encourage. I want to help people heal from their traumas. What's your mess is usually your message. And so this has been my journey. And as we're evolving, there's so much unfolding and so much happening on the planet right now that I happen to be on the phone this evening with this amazing woman who's joining us, Christina. And we found each other through Instagram. Hello, hello. And literally, we were on the talk tonight about all these things. And in my insides, I'm like, we should be live right now. We should be talking about this. And then she said, we should be live talking about this. I'm like, thank you, universe. Okay, we need to pause. Let's get in the camera and then let's have this conversation. So literally, we can have this conversation together. I don't.
Oh, yeah, we're echoing. You know why? Because I can't seem to figure out.
I know. I'll be right back. I need to grab my earphones from my cell phone to shut it
and
off.
My cell phone's dying. How are we going to do this on IG?
Oh. Well, if you're on IG, we're echoing a lot. Go to Instagram, or no, YouTube. And you can go to my channel and watch us live on YouTube. Live on YouTube. Okay. So, live on YouTube.
Don't be sorry to complain. Thank you for telling us.
Yes.
Good morning, sexy biatch. Where do you live? It's the morning.
She's in Australia.
Oh.
So welcome. I love it, ladies already. It's amazing. So if you can, we already have Australia around the world, people. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
I've been thinking about Australia all day and praying for Australia all day. That's all I've been talking and thinking about.
Sending lots of love. Okay, so Stacy Harder on YouTube. If you want to join us, I am live on YouTube.
I'm sorry, my ladies.
Hey, there's no sorries.
I don't know.
Okay, so the live chat should be on. So if you want to jump on.
Love, I don't know how to mute you. I don't know. You're going to echo. We're going to keep echoing.
Well, that's why I'm going to get up and grab my earphones.
Okay. You have me for right now. Hi, ladies. I love you so much. Thanks for coming. We're going to talk about some cool stuff. We talk a lot about a lot of things, and she wanted to jump on the live and record it. I ask a lot of questions. Curiosity.
Do you want to see how you found me?
The randomness?
Yeah.
Sure. So I was sitting at my kitchen table. I lit some Palo Santo, which I don't really mess a lot with incense and any of that. It's just not my thing, but I did it. And I just sat calmly and I was just, just praying. And I flipped on my phone after, I let the whole thing burn, the entire thing. I just watched it and just sat quietly. The whole thing burned. And then I flipped open my phone. I didn't even hit Instagram, and Stacy's live was on my phone. And I was like, what is going on here? And it was it's history ever since. It's been 6 weeks. And yeah, we just talk about everything, alchemy, metaphysics, everything, the world, what's going on, and we're just all really great friends. And that's it. We haven't stopped.
find my headphones.
Oh no.
I usually keep them here.
I have headphones.
She's on the other side of the earth. I'm in LA. Not earth, but she's on the other side of our country.
New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey. But the world has gotten so small. We're all together. I don't feel like we're far away from each other at all. Do you guys? Comments?
Well, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to use my headphones. I had to put my glasses on so I could see. Oh, well.
Are you getting an echo on yours?
Bad? Is it real bad, Esme?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Is it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know where my earphones are. They're usually here.
It's going to drive them nuts.
Weird. Well,
where are her earphones?
oh, Esmeralda's on YouTube. Yay!
Hey, that is such a beautiful name.
Join us on YouTube Live.
You put the link?
I don't know the link.
Do you know your
Just
username?
type in my name.
Put that.
If you can hear us better. Okay, so I'm going to just let YouTube be, I'm going to let Instagram be Instagram. If you want to join us on YouTube Live, please do. There is a chat. What if lower volume? Perfect. Okay, much better. I'm happy with this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, my phone is going to die.
Oh, you don't have a charger?
I do, but I can't. I have to move my entire situation.
Oh, okay. Well, if your phone dies, then that's okay. Then I'll turn the screen on to us on Instagram.
Okay.
So don't worry about that.
Okay. Whatever you. Can you do that now?
Well, what, you can hang up now if you want.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I can move us here. Because this is what I do for our calls. Sorry, YouTube. It's just going to be a second. And then you're going to join us. All right. So, how do I turn it around? There you go. Okay. All right. Officially.
Yeah.
Center. I am back. Thank you so much for joining me. As I was saying, we were on the call and it was just like, we should be talking about this. So I have been quiet a lot the last couple years, and it hasn't been until the last few really months that I've been starting to get this internal go on live, go talk, go get out there. And so I had to really fight that a little bit because I really was like, you don't know enough. These people know so much more than you do. And then I realized, because I'm comparing myself to my mom, who is like the epic channeler for the last 35, 40 years, that I can't ever compare myself to someone like that. You can't compare yourself. Comparing doesn't do anyone any value, especially yourself. So that being said, I just started getting those messages when I'm in bed, like, hey, you need to get out there. You need to be talking. I kept like having anxiety when I was in bed and hearing these voices, like, not voices, intuition. It's really voices.
It's voices. It's cool.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And so I started doing the lives, and yes, you came into my life right away. And every Thursday, my mom and I do these cosmic conversations, and they're free. And you've been joining us for the last little while now. And for me, it's magical. It's a really beautiful experience. So I'm so honored that you get to join us and be a part of it.
You're so sweet. It's my pleasure. It's home.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, and as he says, I need to share my wisdom. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Well, I would say I'm a student above everything. I love learning. And as they say, you're learning is really kind of there's a quote that's so good about learning. Can't think of it at the moment. but basically our research is our me search. And I find all these things have really brought me closer to home, and home means in me, in my form, in my body. If you don't know my story, I grew up in an amazing family in the Midwest. I have amazing parents, both teachers. My mom's a professor, so she's got her doctorate, and business successful, just a fun Midwestern family. And I also grew up with sexual abuse, not from my parents. And it was probably very, very young, for I'd say about 4 or 5 years old. And then at 12 years old, when I was in junior high, I was being sexually assaulted pretty much daily, from being grabbed and touched and poked and all these things. And I started feeling this like, and by the way, when I was 12, I was also like a 24-inch waist, a C cup, and I was a figure skater. I was like banging bodies, like, and I didn't realize it because I didn't think of it at that point. But as I started to get this unwanted attention, I felt more and more like separated, and like I would just kind of exit, and then I started gaining weight. I mean, there's all kinds of stories that happen, but long story short, I've experienced sexual assault in my college years, and I experienced rape in my adult years, and I left my body in a lot of ways, and I abandoned my feminine because I did not feel safe inside this vessel. And so I tried to shut a lot of myself down for protection, for safety, for fear. And if you've experienced any kind of trauma, it actually acts a lot the same in your body. So when we're talking about sexual trauma as a child, that's very similar if you have alcoholic parents or emotionally abusive parents. A lot of the same symptoms and stuff come up. And that big chunk of that lesson for me was not feeling worthy of love. You're not lovable, you're broken. And so I had this in my life for subconsciously now. It's not like I'm like, I always knew I could be lovable, but there's this subconscious dark belief that because you're broken, no one's going to want you because you're hurt and you've been taken, you know what I mean? Like, so I have gone on this amazing journey of learning and growing and tears and all of that stuff that I didn't want to get out of it. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that you got on. Yeah, I really think I started praying. Okay, I felt so broken and so disconnected from my body that I did not want to be on this planet anymore. I didn't try to actually, at this point, it was actually when I was processing my rape. And I was also getting out of a 5.5-year emotionally abusive relationship with a narcissist who my self-esteem was low. And I know that relationship was so a gift for me to learn how to love myself. And so it was, I feel, my breaking point of, and then I also had a back injury and was literally in bed in amazing pain with a 5-pound weight limit, no lifting, no twisting, no turning, no pushing, no pulling. Like I couldn't even open a water bottle because my pinch was so bad. I couldn't buckle pants. Like, so I was out, like, no joke, emotional pain, physical pain. Like I was like, I can't do this. I'm like, universe, if you want me to be on this planet, then you need to help me. I need to heal this because I was no longer willing to live like this. And then my back at the same time, right? But my back taught me I had to learn how to love my body. It was like a reset. And so through that reset, I learned self-love, self-understanding, learning about our brain, learning about our bodies, even with Tantra. I teach sacred sexuality. I'm a certified Tantra educator. And in that process, like, how do we not learn about our body? Our pleasure, to me, is our gift from the divine, from God. It's how we recreate a human form, is through this beautiful process of union. And I think that's why they call it the sacred union, because it is sacred. It's the divinity. And to me, when you're in the orgasmic state, you are in the pure bliss. You're in the reminder. It's like the closest you are to who we are is in that form of just awness. And every cell of your body is in this beauty and this yumminess. right? It's like, so good. There's no time, there's no stress. That is who we are. And to me, that's a reminder for us of what we're here to be and become and remember. So we were talking earlier kind of about what life is. Where did we come from, right? And by the way, you're feel free to ask questions if you're here. And I love that you're joining us. So thank you. What was the question you asked me? Just about like how
I started it by talking about the 12D that somebody was telling me, and I was like, oh, I'm talking about 5D, and she's like, oh, I think it's much, much more. I think it's about 12D. And I was like, whoa, like, I don't even know if you're human at that point. So you're trying to, like, that was my question. And I was like, what is 12D even like an Earth? Is it even available on Earth?
Okay, so this is my belief systems. First and foremost, before you listen to anyone, before you read any book, before you watch any TV show, I highly, highly recommend, and I get this practice from my mom, to ask or pray to know truth, to have protection and guidance. So it's really protection, guidance, and to know truth. If you ask for those things, you will always be protected, and you will always be guided to who, where, and when, and why, right? Just like how you found me. It was magical.
Mm-hmm.
And then to know truth. Everything is an energy. Truth is, it's an energetic thing. There's truth and there's not truth, right? So we think we're real, but we're actually just moving energy. We're moving parts that look, feel, we're condensed into the physicality. But if you look, we can speed us up. You can be without form. So nothing is really solid. It's just solid to us. So one of my favorite things too is the universe doesn't speak English, it speaks frequency. Every thought you have, every word you speak is a frequency, it's a vibration. And so when we're talking about dimensions, again, this is my story and my beliefs, find your own. You don't have to agree with me, and I highly recommend feeling it out. As you ask to know truth, you'll start to feel it in your body. You don't have to explain it. You just see that.
And right? No one will tell you that what you're feeling is wrong. You know the truth. You can even try to convince yourself out of your own truth. But
yes. And so someone asked me to repeat it. So if you always ask or pray to have protection, guidance, and to know truth. And then the second part of that is that my mom also taught me is to put on your cosmic condom. Just like in sex, if you want to be safe and you want to be protected, you put a condom on. We are energetic fields. Everything about us is our energy. So what happens is when people come into your energy field, you can feel it. If there's people you want to stay away from, you know immediately to cross the street and go the other way. You know to not go down that aisle. Like your energy field is your everything. And so I forgot what I was saying. Wait, so energy field. What was I just saying? Oh, the cosmic condom. If you put a barrier, right? Like I see it as this beautiful bubble of like iridescent sparkles of pure white divinity. And in my bubble is protecting me so nothing other than unconditional love can penetrate that bubble. You have in this life free will and choice. You must own your free will and own your choice. I own my energy and I'm in complete control over it because I choose. If I don't choose, then I can let other people affect me and their moods affect me, but it's all a choice. And so when we get to the point, then one of the best, most important wake-up points is literally knowing you have a choice. Everything is a choice. All those experiences, all the victimness, if you actually remember, oh yeah, I chose this. Like my relationship, I could have been in a victim mode, but no. I chose that relationship because it brought me back home to me, to find out how to love myself, to find out how to go deep within myself. And so it is nothing by accident. And if you can remember that, that can be, to me, the start of the rest of your life.
You speak true. I started doing it and I saw everything. I see everything so differently.
Yes.
And I'm no longer afraid of anyone or anything or any virus.
Yes.
Like I don't fear anything.
So that's actually a 5D. And we'll talk about the dimensions and real quick what those look like. But that's the most important thing. As long as you realize, even if you don't fully believe it at first, it's okay. Usually you will always know deep inside yourself that feeling of, ooh, yes. It's like you, and I find when I hear other people saying certain things that I agree with, it's an instant like, oh yeah. It's like, you know that, but you didn't know how to put it in those words before. So everything is an energy. I tap into what I see. There is no words for what we have as energy and what I see, because we just don't have words. Words is our 3-dimensional situation. So I am taking in my knowledge and my visions and my knowingness and translating that to be what I can in this conversation. That makes sense. So all the teachers will say a little bit different words because there's no two people that can translate the same vibe. And so that's where it's also, I think, really important to follow your heart, to ask the people. And that's the beauty. You said, I want to have people that are a higher vibration, and boom, here we were. And so all you have to do is tell the universe what you want. You are more magical than you can ever imagine. And this is the time to remember that. This is the time to breathe that in and to own that. So we're going to go through some emotional stuff too, but we're going to talk about kind of the creation of planet Earth and the human experience.
Awesome. Yeah. So fun.
I know, it's good. Well, and I really appreciate having you on here too, because it helps me not just be by myself, and it's good. I love it. You need every time you see a bubble picture, sponge up. There you go. Yes. And so with that bubble, one of the most important things I do is that shield. So nothing but unconditional love can penetrate my bubble, because this is my bubble. I choose what comes in and what comes out. Everything is a choice. And so, and you'll always know too, when you go against your own gut. It's like men, or if I date men. So if you, whoever you date, we always know that person's not right for us. We always do, but we kind of play beyond, oh, well, maybe this and maybe that. And oh, is that really important as I thought it was? And we always know from day one if it's a yay or nay. Your body never lies to you, because our body is our everything. Our body is our temple. It is our truth meter. It is our compass. This body, believe it or not, we chose coming into it. We got to say, okay, this is thing. And by the way, a lot of our health stuff that we bring in, like weird things, those are usually, in my opinion, those are past life stuff that we come in. We come in with all these things, like, so it's our place to move through.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So how about people who develop illnesses, like say, like I know someone who has rheumatoid arthritis, why?
Okay. So
there's no diagnosis. I mean, there's no cure. There's no reason why. It just, that disease just is. Like, is it just a lesson, or did she contract that? Like, contract it? Or is it sometimes I heard it was like going against, like, there's a lot of metaphysical reasons for it. And one of them was she's been going against her true beliefs. Like, she feels abandoned, even though she's not. Like, she just made choices that went against what her life's purpose was.
Okay. So nothing's by accident. Mm-hmm. When we understand we're an energy, right? Okay, I've used this example before. I like to think of ourselves as a funnel. Okay, so a lot of people talk about our chakras, our systems. We have energy centers that go up and down our spine, from our root chakra, which is kind of your rosebud, all the way to the crown chakra. And people talk about the etheric chakras. Our chakra system is our energy grid. It's how we receive and get information. It's how we get. It's this complexual, beautiful grid. So that being said, if we talk about opening our crown, so when we open the crown and then we ground ourselves within the earth, I believe as a human form, we're here to actually connect those two energies together through human. I just feel like that's how we bring the divine to the planet and how Mother Earth, like we're here for multiple reasons. And so to me, it's about bringing those two vibrations together. It's not by accident right now. I think also our heart chakra is our middle. So as we bring in the divine, we also bring in Mother Earth, and they meet in our heart. And that's where we share that love. That's the unconditional love. Mother Earth has a very loving, very nurturing energy, and the divine is a very divine energy. So it's our greatest gift is to be able to literally intentionally give that out. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Wait,
okay. Anything in our energy fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
That gets stuck or blocked, emotional issues, because we are an energy system, our body is so brilliant that even in trauma, if we go through an experience, our brain will do something. I believe we have souls, our mind, and our body. So it's like this triangle of three working together as one. Our brain will process it one way, our body processes it another way. And what happens is, like, when you're real stressed, your shoulders are naturally really tight. Our body will help take energy for you. So if you're in a fire, you're like getting fired from a job, you're in a car accident, a divorce, all those really stressful situations become trauma in the body, and they kind of hold in. And if you don't process, they usually kind of fall into your lower chakra systems, which is why a lot of adults will have all kinds of issues. And there's also a lot of trauma around sexual issues, which is why there's a lot of cancers. If you look at prostate cancer, uterine cancer, there's a lot of issues that can show up when you have unresolved traumas. To me, when you are in emotional health, your body is in physical health.
Right.
Earlier, when I was uncomfortable with my situations, I put weight on my body because it's my comfort. It gives me more protection. I've always had a little belly. Well, it protects my sacral chakra. Like, that's my intuition to keep myself. So our body has its own memory. Our body has its own brilliance. It's like the heart or electric. How do we can't even explain how we have electricity, and right? It's like brilliant.
Yeah.
Our bodies are so brilliant. And if you go into the sexual side, it's even more brilliant. They can't understand and women's emerita, which is also some people call squirting. There's so much beautiful things that come out of the body that scientists can't even explain, which I think is brilliant. And I have my beliefs on it too. So anytime we have a blockage or a health issue, the emotional issue you don't want to deal with, it shows up. This is not what the book normally looks like, but it's Heal Your Body from A to Z by Louise Hay. I have 3 or 4 of these. The one I've traveled around the world, I don't even see. But it literally, I don't leave any trip. There's one about half this size without it, and it's small. This one happens to be a little bit bigger. But everything is an issue. You said is arthritis, right?
Rheumatoid arthritis. She's, 42 years old and she can't even walk.
So like, it's deep. This is her book of what you look up what's going on. So it says your probable cause is deep criticism, authority, feeling very put upon. And then your new thought pattern. I am my own authority. I love and approve of myself. Life is good. And you say it 3 times in belief. So I am my own authority. I love and approve of myself. Life is good. I went back to the second line. I love and approve of myself because I've practiced these lines a lot. Not this rheumatoid one, but it's that point being, right? So everything, joints are usually flexibility, be able to move in. Your left side's usually your feminine, your right side's your masculine, right? Your left side's receiving, your right side's giving. So if you hurt yourself, like on your left hand, like maybe that's, what are you not receiving from the feminine, or what do you know what I mean? There's all these deep kind of meanings. So our body is there to help you become aware. But also our body, I believe, is our temple and our vessel. If we understand the sacredness of our body, we would never, ever talk mean to it. I have very much worked / played in that arena because I was so critical, so judgmental. And for me, my body was pain. That's what I equaled it. It was men take from me, I'm not safe. Like, I would have never showed cleavage a lot. Like, I would have been really, like, I just didn't want to be a woman. I wanted to hide. And same with glasses. Like, I hide behind glasses, but I also love the funness of them. So anyways.
I get it. I hide behind hair. I never used to wear my hair up, and now I wear it up all the time. Like, I thought it was, I just felt like it was hiding me, like I was hidden. And now all I ever want to do is wear my hair up.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I think it is really important to listen to yourself. If you want to wear your hair up or down, like, I play with it.
Right.
I'm trying to get, as I see your chat. Oh, there it goes. Okay, never mind. I see it now. Can sexual abuse cause painful periods? Yes. I can die from cramps unless I take it. Okay, so yes, in my opinion, cramps are actually many things. In my opinion, it's wound from the deep feminine or your sisterhood, or it could be you wounding from the sisterhood. Now, again, I can also believe that this can be past life stuff, but absolutely, our periods are not supposed to be crampy and not supposed to have pain. There are times actually are divine. It is when we are the strongest with spirit and the divine source. And so please start falling in love with your menses. Have it very much a set. What are you releasing and letting go, and what do you want to bring in? Our feminine power is incredible. Our womb literally is where we create a child. We create humanity in our womb. It is the most magical, creative, sacred space. And even the word womb, it's like protector, right? So she is so epic. And one of the things I like to do, since you talked about that, is if you hold I love calling it my gut, but I always say I have large ovaries too. If you hold it, and if you want to do it with me, I highly recommend it, but just hold it. I like to just think and kind of feel it and ground myself, but thank her for enduring pain for me. Thank her for being able for me to create life force. Thank you for literally, what has she done for you? And for me, she was able to take these experiences and hold that for me. And so now in the past, I've already done this, but you release. And so especially when your period, say, please release any pain, release anything. It's not yours anymore. And it's time to start anew. And literally a big thing, I think, is also to apologize to her. I'm sorry for ever hating you. I'm sorry for ever not knowing your true magical self. I'm sorry for not listening to you. And I promise from now on, I'm going to love you and I'm going to honor you and be grateful for her.
That was huge. Because women always say, oh, I hate my period. And I'm like, do you know what you're saying? Like, their hate for your period. No, that's how we give life. That's how life comes into this world.
Well, and if you're into the plant medicine, a lot of ceremonies, you're not even allowed to come in if you're on your menses, because you're so powerful energetically that you can actually take over from the shaman without even knowing. So One of those medicines I have worked with is kambo. Kambo is completely legal. It comes from a frog, and it's basically, they don't kill the frog. There's a secretion over the certain frog in the Amazon. And it came to them in, I think, an ayahuasca journey where this man had his whole village was getting sick and dying. And so he went to Mother Aya and said, please help me in my village. My village is dying. Like, what can I do for them? And he was already shaman. And during the ceremony, he was showed this frog. He was shown how to catch it because it's a tree frog, how to extract the stuff, and then how to apply it, administer. And so all of this was shown to him in his journey. And so it's called kambo, Kambo. And in that, it's this frog secretion that you usually burn a couple holes to a little stick on your skin, just get off that top layer, and then you mix, usually they mix it with their saliva, and then they put this frog medicine on your back. Now, it's about 10 to 40 minutes. People call it poison. It's not, from my understanding, it's actually a protein enzyme thing that goes in your body and completely flushes your lymphatic system.
Wow.
In that, you get sick and you're throwing up. which is a good thing, and you're getting it out. There's no psychedelic effect, so there's no vision effect. But it does, you can usually feel your heart and it's just pumping and those kind of things. And then,
Ooh, I just got chills on my back. That was so bizarre.
I love that. So the chills to me are usually truth bumps or your soul saying this is important, pay attention.
Yeah. It's literally like tapping on me. I'm like, what?
So combo for me removes this whole negative energy around you and it recenters. So for women, fertility issues, it's amazing natural fertility thing. And then also he told me it makes you not have period cramps and headaches, like you just don't even feel your period. And I kind of was like, I've had a period for 30 years, I think 28 years. Like, you're funny, but I'm like, okay, I didn't even really, I just in my head was like, blew them off. Like I started doing it because I had torn my AC, I had no ACL. So I had a complete ACL tear, a meniscus tear and fracture in my femur. So then I was also healing up my back injury still. So I was in so much physical pain that I'm like on crutches, my back hurts, I can't put any weight in my leg. And I'm like, I need help. And this medicine kept coming into my life with people talking about it. And I'm like, okay, if it's supposed to be good for pain, like I will pretty much do anything. It's organic, it's natural. There's no side effects other than it completely flushes your system. And so I did it. And literally like the next day I was able to walk on my leg without pain. And I'm like crying. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm not using my crutches. Oh my God, like I'm not in pain. Like it like was like this beautiful gift. And if you do have a lot of feminine issues, they say, depending on how messed up your system is, it could be 3 to 4 times within one lunar cycle that will reset your period. And so it totally happened for me.
So wait, where do you get this stuff?
You can get it anywhere.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's called Combo. I have some friends that do the ceremony with it, so you can always private message me. But it's no matter where you are in the world, you can do it at this moment. I do believe in 5 years, pharmaceutical will take it out because it heals you from cancers and all kinds of stuff.
Well, what about if we're in 5D? Don't we get these options of natural medicines? Like, you know?
Well, I believe these medicines are a gift from the divine.
Yeah.
I feel it's very important to honor them. Some people take them in the wrong extreme, but I definitely believe that they're here to assist in the veil awakening. I think you have to follow your heart. You'll always know if the medicine's for you or not. But I know for me, it was a gift. Okay. So does that make sense? Did I answer the body question?
To me? Yeah, I mean, she has unresolved issues.
Yeah. So anytime you have a block of flow, what do you think happens?
Your body keeps it.
Yep.
Holds it.
If we are in flow, everything is ease and grace. It's moving through the energy. If you imagine, like again, the energy comes in. A lot of people, it's a toric field, and it comes in and out, right? So it's this constantly moving field. So if you are allowing yourself to be a gate of the divine, to the energy to flow through you and in and out of you, everything is in flow. Now, this is also an important lesson in life, I think, right now, too. If you block this flow, like this is trust, this is surrender, this is peace, this is in the moment, right? If you start to, I don't want to do this, I don't like this, what do you think is going to happen to the energy?
It's going to get stuck.
Yeah. So dis-ease is the dis-ease of the energy flow, the dis-ease. So that's where it's really important to be in the flow. And every time there's something wrong with your body, every time it's like knock knock, the universe saying, oh, look, here's a possibility, you can move it through or you can keep it, because it's a choice. So it's still a choice and still learning. So I literally went through so much physical injuries.
That's bad.
Never want to think I went through it or choose it, but it's brought me so much more appreciation for the physical body. And I don't know if all I know is I am here for this reason in this moment. And so I think I also had to experience, because I was a figure skater. I was so hardcore in my body. I mean, I lived with bruises, and every day I skated, my feet were bloody. Like And you
Yeah.
over and over and you just fall and fall and fall. And it's like,
Yeah, I don't know how you ladies do it. It's
but it's
incredible.
like, I loved it. I loved it.
Mhm.
So it was my time to learn how to really appreciate and honor. But I also think because it was such a hard thing for me to do, that's what I'm here to do. Teach you to have fun in your body again.
I love you.
I love you. Okay. So we got the body part, right? Because now we're going to go to dimensions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, by the way, headaches. I see your thing here.
Yeah.
Headaches usually mean you're not having enough self-pleasure. In fact, in her book, she talks about you should masturbate. I don't use the word masturbation because if you look up the history of it, it is designed to have self-punishment by hand. And I believe that's religious's way of shutting off your divine power. So I call it self-love. Because what are you doing? You're loving on yourself. You want to feel yummy. So if you have a headache next time, migraine, give it a go. Self-love, baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Bible says it's like a total sin. And I'm like, what a trick. That's just
That's
not
our
true.
power. They don't want us in our power because when you're in your power, you're not controllable.
Yep.
And we can see this on the scale and the big time in this world right now. This is all about a time to be sovereign because you have control. You cannot be controlled and manipulated unless you allow it. It's just like me being in an abusive relationship. I allowed it.
Totally. Same.
It taught me a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. The book is Louise Hay. She's passed away now, but it's Heal Your Body. And it A to Z. I don't know if it's A to Z, but you can always PM me, Esme, and I can send a book picture or remind me. Okay. Now we're going to talk about dimensions. All right. Dimensions, again, it's this thing that's really hard to put into words because words are something that we use in three-dimensional. Three-dimensional is what we are in the human form and the denseness of the human body. The higher the dimension, the lighter it is. The lower the dimension, the more dense it is. All of it is existing in one. So I like to put it like a radio. You have one radio box and you can turn it into 89 point something, you're going to get one music. Now it's still in this box, but I can turn it and I can tune the frequency and it changes. It changes songs, it changes people, it changes styles, right? So in this tuner is all the radio stations, but it's one box. So we are in one galaxy with multi-dimensions. If, let's just say, you are a 6th dimension, you can see all the dimensions lower. Sometimes you can see again, this is my truth. I believe you can see a little bit above you, but I think if you're 14th dimensional, 3D doesn't usually see you unless they're tapping in or channeling, and that's a different state.
Okay. How many dimensions do you think there are in our world?
In our world, well, we're living in a 3-dimensional, but we live on Earth, which is 5-dimensional. I believe animals are 5-dimensional, sometimes higher. I think whales, like dolphins, like I think they're a very evolved dimension. I don't know if there is a limit. To me, that divine source, the God energy, is the pureness, and then it's just like
Limitless.
yes. And so I believe we're in this ascension. So let me tell you about, this is my story of Mother Earth, right? Now, this is some of my memories. And again, I can't even describe the form I was. I was 2, but I was 1. And there was a calling. There was no voice. It was just this, like, I'm like ding, 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 like almost like emergency code. But again, there's no actual code. There's no actually sounds, but it's just this like, and I remember rising out of this, I don't even know how to explain it. And I could see like different things, but it was me. And it was like, yes, I'm in. And so it was a calling to come help. So from my understanding, Mother Earth is a much higher consciousness. Let's just well, I don't know exactly, but let's just say she's a 12th dimension, right? Or 18th dimension. She's high dimensional. So she wanted to come into this form and experience a 5-dimensional world. And all of these things, to me, there's a galactic world. The galactic is, we are not alone.
I love this. Carry on.
No 2 fingerprints on people. And look how many billions of people there are through time.
Right.
No 2 fingerprints are the same. No 2 DNAs the same. No 2 grass blades are the same. No 2 snowflakes are the same. What?
Do you think that's why they're testing for COVID, like literally in your brain? Do you think they're trying to take our DNA? Sorry to get off track.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. I'm just sending
Because
love.
I'm like, why are they?
I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, nope, love. Just send it, love.
Like, why are they in our brain?
I do my best to honestly stay out of it and just send it love, because I know it doesn't.
You're right.
The whole thing is feels. Don't be sorry. Never be sorry. That's one of my rules. There's nothing to be sorry.
I love that.
Well, it's true. We have nothing to be sorry for.
I interrupted.
It's all good. I want you to ask questions. That's why we're together.
I know. I'll write them down next time.
You do.
I'm so sorry,
I am not offended.
Sorry.
Stop apologizing.
My bad.
No, it's not your bad.
No, you're right. That's not good either. Okay.
It's all perfect.
It is. It is.
I love my Chris. I love.
But I thought maybe people would want to hear that, like, you know.
It's perfect.
It's the world we're living in. So I'm like, wait, why are they up in our brains? Like, what happened to the cheek swab? But we're not talking about that.
Got theirs punctured and had brain fluid leaking.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, love and light, love and light. Okay, so Earth wanted to come into this experience, and part of that experience was dropping also into the human form. So I believe this is an unlimited galactic world. That we've heard the term Pleiadians and Greys and Reptilians and Syrians and Lurians. Like, there's so many out there. It is said a lot of people believe we have at least 50 species living amongst us now. I believe there's a lot more here. And as we get into the higher vibrational, we're going to start seeing them.
Do you think they know they're here?
Oh, yeah, they know. They're conscious of it all.
Okay.
I believe part of our teams, part of our intuition is also our connection to those light. Now, I used to get really weirded out by aliens because we've been programmed that aliens are scary and aliens are unknown. But the thing is, and again, my truth is they come in love and light. Just like humans, our core is love and light. There are a few that got tied into lower dimensions. The higher the dimension you are, the more pure love and divine energy you are. So it's impossible for these, like my mom has said that for her, the most powerful alien she's ever experienced is like this 30-foot kind of like praying mantis with just this pure like energy. You will always feel, and this goes back to the beginning, if you ask for protection, guidance, and to know truth, your body will always tell you truth. They've trained us, in my opinion, to be afraid of it because they don't want us to be empowered by it. Now, I believe all the stuff what's going on is actually a lower dimension. I believe it's a 4th dimension. Now, again, I say this with love, but I do believe there is some reptilian involved, and I don't believe all reptilians are bad. Just like humans, there is a few corrupt ones, just like our police. We have corrupt police within the police department, but that doesn't mean all the police are bad. These police dedicate their lives for the community to be safe. Like, and they don't get paid hardly anything. And yet they're open targets for cities like LA. People just getting shot in their car, haven't done anything. So I send them love. But I do believe that there is a darker entity or lesser light that is doing control and manipulation. And so from my understanding, I'll go back to the beginning, but there was a point where they were told they can't intervene with us anymore. You can't be seen, you can't do. So what they did is they came up with these universal laws. They came around it. So they didn't actually let us see them. They didn't actually let us do this. But what they did is they did this control and manipulation. So every time you like, oh, something's eating at me, cancel, erase, because you're giving permission for those energies to take in you. Our words and our thoughts are so important. I got, yes, that is right. Yes. So it is so important, even right now. I am divine, I am love, and I am light. Nothing can penetrate my energetic field. I am of nothing, but I am only love. I am only divine. I am protected, because here's the thing. You own your energy. You own your stuff, and you could say yay or nay. When you go, so that's 5-dimensional, the high love, right? Love, bliss, fun, joy, play. 3-dimensional is denser, right? So 3-dimensional, fear is the duality, right? If you, and this is gonna be an example going back to your dog. If you're in fear or love, hate, love, or happy, right? Happy, crying, joy. We're caught in the emotions because that's the yin and the yang. It's the duality. And we're here to experience that. But more important, we're here to shift. This is the first, it's why it's so hard right now. It's why it's so dense. I was crying earlier today. I think I've cried every day this week. It's intense. And know that you are not alone, and we'll also process through that. But our job right now is to stay in our 5-dimension. How we do that, it's the same planet, it's the same motion, it's going on simultaneously. It's why 3D people don't understand these love and light people, because they can't see it. You have to choose to see it. I choose to know truth. I choose to ask questions. I choose to say, who's behind that news? Why would they want us to hate a president so bad? Why did, like, if you start asking questions, universal law is you will get answers, which is why it's so important to demand, to, oh, not out of like hate, but like, I demand my sovereignty. I claim my power. I claim my feminine. I claim my masculine. I claim my wholeness. I claim my divinity. You get to choose. So be impeccable with your word. Your words are spells. Yeah. What do you want to spell? I want to bring in love. I want to bring in light. I want to bring in compassion around this world. I want to help. I want to heal. I want to transform, and I want to empower, right? What do you want? Be clear, because now's the time. If you look at a dog, we talked about this earlier, dogs are 5-dimensional, right? In my opinion, again, my thought. You can get mad at them for peeing on the floor, but guess what? In 20 seconds, do they hold on to that?
No way.
Yeah. That's a perfect example. They are in that love. They're not attached to this heaviness, right? So the more fear you have, the more controlling you are, or controllable. And every politician is taught to put your opponents in fear. Or not put your opponents, put your voters in fear, because if you get them in fear, you can control their vote.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, and you look at our presidents, one talks a lot about building it up, right? Making it better. Like, what is it? Make America great again?
Yeah, make America great again.
Yeah. And then the other one is, if you do this, we're not going to have this, and we're not going to have that, and they're not going to have help. And I'm like, well, wasn't the president the only one that would pass the help the last time, because Senate and Congress didn't want to meet, and he said, you need to have it by this date or I'm passing it, and he passed his own legislation to get help for the American people. But the news doesn't tell you it that way. And I get it.
The news lies all day long on a loop.
Yeah. So just look, ask questions. Why would they be lying? Why would they want me to hate this person? Why would they? Just ask questions, and you'll start getting answers. And be open. I like to, it's just how we manifest. You put it out there, and it's a mind, body, spirit. It's a triple energy of vibration, and then you let it go. As soon as you hold on to something, you don't allow it to blossom. You actually cut off the flow, and then you're not even allowing it, because it's like, I'm holding on. So anytime you have control, right, it usually goes back to fear. That was me. My fear of being safe. So I had control issues. If I knew you turned here, you parked there, then I was in control, quote unquote, of my life, meaning I was safe. But it really wasn't safe. It was my way of pushing those blocks up to keep that heart from actually being heart open. That was just my ego brain trying to do its best to protect me. But really, that's the wounded child that's just like,
it always is.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm just reading a thing.
Yeah.
I can't. Yes, that's perfect. You want your life back. Great. I want my life. What do you want your life to look like? And you start saying, I want to be happy. I want to make people feel good. Like, I want to be of service. One of my greatest things for me is helping people move through their pain, because I've been there. I spent 3 hours with a friend last night who was just processing shit. It's like, yeah. And you go back to asking your questions. When you want to ask someone else a question, you always know your own answer. You get to know your truth, right?
I love when you're like, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I do know.
Yes. We're trained.
Reminded that we know.
Yes, because we're literally mentally trained to be limited, to not think we're worthy. Please stop the TV.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. Look at the ads. Look at the magazines. They teach us to not be happy in our own body. You need bigger lips. You need longer lashes. You need a smaller nose. You need, like, nothing in life is there to teach us you are so whole as you are. They want you to feel bad to buy this product so they sell more.
And consume. There's never been one commercial, one advertisement on to buy less.
Yes.
To buy less, or to be, you know, that you're there's nothing positive on that box.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Hello, Maria. Welcome. So, love ourselves, choose ourselves. Now, dimensions, dogs. Fifth dimension is a love. It's happiness. It's joy. It's fun. It's literally manifestation. Right now, we're not instant manifestation, which is good, because your thoughts are not ready to be manifested. So you got to earn that right to get into the 5D where you can just bring in stuff, right? Because every thought, like, oh shit, I can't believe I just did that. It was so stupid of me. I'm sorry. What? No, you can't talk to yourself that way. If you wouldn't talk to your best friend or your daughter or who you love the most that way, you need to stop talking to yourself that way. So right there, every time you have a thought, this is the beauty. Once you're aware, right? This is the important part. When you're in 3-dimensional, how do you get to here, 5-dimensional? It's as simple as starting to wonder, asking questions, right? I feel like that's part of the bridge in the 4D, right? So you want, why is this? Why is everybody so angry right now? Why is the collective fighting? Why is the world shut down? We are literally, in the first time in human history, going through a transformation that we have never seen before. In that transformation, we are taking from 3D and bringing her into 5D, which means all of you all watching right now are part of that. That means we agree to come in here and be the alchemist that can transform the fear, the judgment, the pain, all of the dark denseness. We have agreed to take it and transition it to here. And it can be as simple or as hard as you want to. It can be as simple as, wow, I really recognize myself in pain right now. Do I want to stay in pain? There's your question, right? And then here's your choice. No, I don't want to stay in pain. Is it mine? Most of the time it's not mine right now. And I can start to feel that because you can start to ask questions. You always know inside, is this mine or is this not mine? If it is mine, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me? What did I learn from this, right? We talked about earlier. One of your really, really most difficult situations, it taught you what?
Me?
Yeah.
Which difficult situation? Which one?
Remember your greatest lesson that you learned from the situation we talked about earlier.
Okay. What's the question?
What did that situation teach you?
That no matter what, I'm still love.
Yes. And
yeah, I don't have to carry that. And that's not, I don't have to, none of it, what other people do is not our business.
And to choose who?
Yourself, and love always.
And you listen to yourself.
Yeah.
You know. We give ourselves these reminders so we can actually remember. It's like, to me, the twin flame journey. You can't be with your kings or queen or emperor, empress until you are ready for them, which means you have to appreciate them. You have to see the beauty in them because you have to see the beauty in you. They are your mirror. And if you're not ready to see your own divinity, your own beauty, your own grace, your own love and worthiness, then you can never see someone else's. So it's part of our journey.
It's true, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. So going, if you notice yourself in these strong states, oh, Instagram's going to end. I have to come right back on, y'all. I love you. You need to be a joke. Okay. And okay, so part 1. Wow, that was fast.
Super fast.
Oh gosh.
What?
It's hard to like pick a thing because it goes so fast. Because you have this thing when you're trying to save it. There you go. What do we call this?
The title?
Yeah.
I know there's so many subjects. We did health, we did dimensions.
All right, we'll go back.
Vibrational beings.
Edit. But okay. Now.
The flow of energy.
Okay. Whew, I'm getting sweaty, which means I'm processing a lot of energy.
You are energy.
Aw, thanks. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm live. Good. All right. 5D, 3D. It's not necessarily above, it's all together, but I'm just doing this for visual purposes. So once we're in 3D, our belief right now in this ascension process, especially if you're watching, you are here to transform this for the collective, for the unconscious to come up here, which means we probably have a lot of feelings of depression, of anxiety, of hate, of anger. If you're finding yourself being triggered, if you're finding yourself in these heaviness, the feelings, they don't feel good. They feel like, oh, all you have to start doing is to ask, do I want to keep in this? Is this mine? Is this serving me? You choose to transform it. Now, it can be as simple, like I, for example, is feeling anxiety. I'm going to give you a couple ways we can clear it. 1, think it away. All right, cancel, erase, replace. And what do you want to choose to replace it? I just go with love, joy.
I want to feel joyful.
Perfect. So then that's it. Done. I'm joyful. And you literally get to choose your energy. Same thing with other people in your life. As soon as you realize that other people can make you turn in an instant, then it's about you learning how to be in power of your own self again. Because other people, you're giving your power away when you're letting people upset you that quickly or that easily. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So another way to transform it is visualization. So if you can do this in so many ways. I can see myself like a washer, right? If you put in these dirty clothes, you have to wash it for it to come out clean. So in that process, you can literally just like, okay, I am going to I have to plug this in. So you can wash it inside, like, oh, okay, I feel this heaviness. And now I'm just gonna like clear it, clean it out, like, okay, good. And then it's clean and it's like, okay, now I have what I want. You can do visualization too. It's like removing it. What color is it? What does it look like? Just imagine pulling it out of your body, putting it
Close your eyes and like just like be in it, and then you'll see a color.
Yep. And I like to close my eyes. You don't have to close your eyes. I find it's just a nice, easy way to just get back to center quickly. But yes, and I think I did that. Did I do it with you? Did it look
yeah, you did.
Yeah. You did. And then once you pull that out, you can transform it however way you want possible. But first, I always love to thank it because it's taught you how to come back to self. It's always been a gift. It is your gift. Think of it as your gift. What did you learn? Ask what it's teaching you. And then once you feel complete in that, then you love it and you I like to turn into love butterflies. They're just glitter, and everywhere you go, they just spread this little love glitter everywhere. You can turn into flowers. You can burn it in a flame or fire. You can give it to the angels. You can do whatever you want. It's all your choice.
And yes, we're that powerful.
We are.
A lot of people don't realize that yes, this is real. It is alchemy. Alchemy, it's not just something for these great mythical people. It's us. It's what we do. We do that. If not us, who? Who?
That's what Jesus said, right? I've never read the Bible personally.
Me either.
But he talked about whatever I can do, you can do this and greater.
See?
I believe that Mary Magdalene, Jesus, Mother Mary, all those people were coming in to that for this time. So they dropped in knowing, because I believe when we drop into human form, we also agree to forget everything of the divine, and that's our journey, is coming back to home, coming back to center, coming back to that godness, your godlit, your goddess, like that's you coming home. I'm hot. So I'm like,
you're lit, girl.
Energy's pumping.
Woman.
I do that. I like women. Girls, I stopped being a girl, like.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, no, woman.
I feel like a woman.
So yeah, we're alchemists.
We are alchemists. Okay, so going back to the visualization, and then what you do is then you want to replace. What do you want to replace it with? So if I want to replace it with love, what does love look like? I would say it's red and it's a heart. And what's the texture, consistency? It's like this fluff, gooey honey. So then I just stick this love, fluff, gooey honey in all the spots that I just took away that are empty and ready. And I just literally cover it in your mind, in your visualization. And then you breathe that in and just boom, you're there. You can also say, oh, this isn't mine. I'm going to give it to the angels to take away. There's unlimited ways to get rid of it. Whatever you believe and conceive, right? You can make it happen. So all you have to do is just know. It's like, I know I'm protected. And I started getting this a few months ago because I used to live in fear, being raped when I was sleeping and different things like sounds, night. Like, I remember one night I was up and there's a sound and I was like, I was in fear. And instantly I was like, wait, do I really want to be in fear? No. Do I know that everything in my life I choose is part of my destiny? Yes. So I choose to feel love and to feel the protection. And I put my little protection bubble on and I'm like, I'm protected. And if something happens to me, it's supposed to. It's supposed to be my journey. But I don't need to live with that constant scared. So I literally just chose, oh, okay, I choose this. And I've been having it. It's fun. It's like little testings here and there. When I hear noises, I'm like, I don't go into fear anymore. Like,
yeah, if it's something's going to happen, it's supposed to happen. It's going to. So why live in the future when you just have to live right now? That's it. Right this second.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just tagging the YouTube real quick.
Awesome. You want to see Pete? Want to see big baby?
Okay. Getting it. Boom. All right. So going back to dimensions. I just want to start real quick with my understanding of how Earth. I believe Earth is a much higher vibration. She wanted to come in and do this kind of experiment game of dropping into a denser form to just experience that. And through that, there's a lot of volunteers that needed to come in and make this experience possible. Hence why you're here. I believe if you are seeing this and you wonder if you're a light worker, if you wonder if what is way shower, like these words that keep coming into your life, like, what does this mean? Am I this? Am I that? Yes, you are, or you wouldn't be here. So we have agreed to come into this planet during this time for this transition because it is the hardest, most difficult, undone thing before. Now, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. It's the first time in human history that we've ever actually upgraded our consciousness. But doing that, we have to clear out all the darks. It's why on this huge worldwide place right now, we're going into Aquarian times, right? Every 26,000 something years, we shift our axis, our earth, all of that is in that process of this ascension. There's nothing by accident. I believe the whole planets and all the stars are also a way of like reprogramming and reminding us. So if we need answers, we always are there. We're always connected. Everything is connected. You want answers? All you do is put it out there and look, you got some, you know what I mean? Like things happen.
Yeah.
You find a book, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I had another person, same thing. Saw me on a live and I just put in a comment. I was called to put in the comment about, because he said my mom's book title. And that's not by accident. I'm like, oh, that's my mom's book title. Like many were called, few were chosen. And so someone else saw that. He got chills, psychic guy, and he bought that book instantly and then messaged me about like, wow, I knew when he put that in their thing, like, but I also knew I got that hit. Like he just said the title, like, you know what I mean? So whatever it is, follow your intuition, follow your guidance, because right now we are being guided more than ever. I do believe we have a whole galactic team. So you have to ask, you have to tell them. They can't interfere with the humanness because it's free will of the human when you drop into form. So until you put permission out there, they can't interfere with this experience. Now, through that experience, if Earth comes into this thing, then they need the volunteers to be the human experience. Now, I'm going to go through this briefly. I do believe I have memories of being a light energy. And when lower density forms came around, I remember having to like put on this human body so they could see me. And so I believe that was more of the Lemurian times. Lemurian times were very universal laws. This is how you do it. Like ask, you shall receive. It's all about love. It's appreciation. It's unity. It's the oh, like.
And this is Earth?
Huh?
And this was a period of time on Earth?
Yes, I believe it was a very long time ago. Thousands and thousands of years ago. So then I believe that's kind of what I would say, like the little, to me, it has a boy energy of like, these rules are kind of boring and I want to have more fun. So I believe that's the start of Atlantis. And Atlantis is known to also be very edgy forward because it's why our body is so complex. We didn't create this. This is so beyond us. So the higher dimensions, right? The higher, what do you call them? Our aliens, our friends, our beings, we're a human being, but the other beings, really,
extraterrestrials.
Yeah. And they use alien, but it's like the opposite because we're all united. Like it's so weird. So I believe that they came in to experience that. So if we went into Atlantean was definitely like just incredible. But what happened is I believe that's where the ego started to kick in. And so I want this, I want to experience that. And it was almost like fun to be able to feel anger, almost fun to have that jealous or that envious, like, wow, it's like an alive, like this is so different, right? Like, whoa. And so
doing
yeah, and I feel that it became this like, oh, and we were all 5-dimensional, but because of that, they started coming in. And I also believe that there is, again, another species that started playing with that energy to bring it down. And there was enough people through time that chose to be in hate, that chose to be in fear, that chose. So as a collective, we were all up here, but as you choose to feel the pain, to feel the sadness, to feel this dimension of like, whoa, how do you, so different. As they chose that, it pulled the humanity into this third dimension. Now, I believe Earth was, there's a whole galactic, when they set up the Earth experience, that there was built in that if it were to ever be destroyed by another influence, then they would come in and put a stop to it. So I believe we have this whole galactic field federation. There's different words for it, but I do believe that there is a group that holds the divine, and there nothing can affect that. The divine is the divine, and you can play, but the divine always has everything. It's always protected. It's always perfect. There's no accidents. It is completely 100% perfect. It's all part of it. So as this divine kind of put this experience together also to keep Earth, it was like, okay, who wants to be a part of this? Now, so many people, beings from all over, all dimensions are like, I want to be a part of it. I want to. So as it came in, it's almost like you now are a board game to come experience this new thing, to drop down into a lower form and then to feel it. Like all of this was this huge, like, yes, I want to play. I want to play. So it was like that calling going out. And I remember the calling, again, no words, no anything. It was just like, yes, I have to be there. I want to help. And so we come into this, and this, my mom describes it partially in her book as well. Many were called, few were chosen. And we basically come into this whole assembly of people, beings from all over, all styles, all sizes, all dimensions. And there was the chosen people, chosen beings to drop into the human form. Now, I think the human form dropping in is all divinely different. I believe some people came in the beginning of humanity and has continued to stay in body, but I do believe you have a choice to drop into the body each time. You do not have to. I think you can stay in the stars or you can be in the whole system, but I do believe it's this universal flow, that even the dark entities are still part of it. They're just as divine as we are. They're just playing their role for this lifetime.
And explain that there will always, we might evolve as a planet, but there will always be duality. Like it will never be perfect, because that's why we're in this human experience for those, both of those things, correct?
So say that question again.
Okay, so like we're looking for a perfect life,
Yeah.
like the most perfectly blissful life, but that is impossible, because the whole point of Earth is for duality, is for play, is for free will, is for, right?
Yes, but I do believe why we're here in this moment, in this time, is that we're bringing Earth back to, yes, that dreamy, that lovey, that thing. So I believe that's what we're here for. Okay. But yes, it is life. I always say it's divinely perfect, because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you ever doubt that, just hold yourself. I like to hold my solar plexus. To me, the solar plexus is a really much connection to you, like your oomph. That's where a lot of your messages, your guidance comes from your stomach. It's not by accident that our belly button is our umbilical cord. That was literally, that gave us life, right? We have our own brain neural network in our gut. It's
they
not
didn't give us gut instinct for nothing.
Exactly.
That they gave us. Thanks.
They say each organ we have has its own neural network. It, like, we have such a complexity in our body that is so beyond perfect. So yes, I would say that everything is divinely perfect. All of what's happening right now is divinely perfect, but we get to choose how easy or how difficult this transition can be, because it's free will and free choice. I do believe right now there's enough light workers that are doing their best to be in that love and light, so it's going a lot smoother than it could be, which is why I think we have a lot of different people out there calling different things, and then it changes because it's just exactly where it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So if you believe in that, or if you're having issues, I always like to hold the heart and hold the chest and say, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. Do it with
trust. It's all trust. You feel trust.
Yes, I trust the process. I trust myself. I am always divinely connected. And I know I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in exactly the right moment and exactly the right time. Go ahead and say it.
Oh, help me with that.
Well, it's whatever. There's no right words, except there is, ish.
Exactly. So we're all doing it together, because everybody's learning.
So I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
I am divine.
I am divine.
I am always guided, protected.
I am always guided and protected.
I am love.
I am love.
I receive and allow my divinity to flow through me and to me.
I receive and allow my divinity to run through me and
to me.
To me.
Yeah. And just those little statements, do you feel different?
Yeah. Of course, the safety, the truth and the safety. That is all we need. And if we can only remember to do it, you know what I mean? After leaving the supermarket, whatever it is, because the world is wild right now. If we only just knew, like,
So
that we're safe, we
yeah,
are.
and I want to say a couple things on that because there's so much going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Please, more than anything, listen to your intuition. We are all being guided to do exactly what we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to be doing it, and where we're supposed to be doing it. And by the way, I love that she got shivers during that, because to me, those are goosebumps. Those are your soul saying, pay attention. This is truth. This is important to you. It's that, ooh. So
It
for me,
is.
yeah, that's going back to your body, right? This body is not just a body. This is our craft. Inside, we are just learning how to plug into it. We're just learning how to tap into it. I'm a Tantra educator, so I also know where all these energy meridians, you can go into Taoism. These are thousands of year traditions, and they talk about these energy points and energy centers and how to create all these things. Like, it is absolutely incredible. You go back to the Ankh in Egypt, it's over there. It's like these energy grids. So there's so much history that it's not a new thing, new to a lot of us in this experience or this lifetime. But just know, our body is where we have to get into in order to raise our consciousness. I lived outside of my body for so long. I was very disassociated in a lot of my life because it was just easier. So it's really important. I do help and work with clients. And even right now, I work with clients on a donation scale, just because I understand this situation in this world. But one of my things is I really like to help get people process their trauma and release out of your body. But it is important to go inward. This is our compass. This is our truth teller. This is our everything. We don't need a TV to tell us. We have insides. We just have to start getting familiar. What does it feel like? And this is the thing that if you don't know, you ask your body, ask your team, show me what truth feels like. Show me what safety feels like. Because I had an issue. I wanted to have my man, who's not really my man yet, but someone in my life who's incredibly like this gift. I wanted him to come in and make me feel safe. And that's not his job. That's not fair to put anything on anybody else. And I actually called him, I was like, just so you know, I've actually been wanting you to come make me feel safe. And I realized I can't put that on you. That's on me. It was like, shoot, more work. So I'm like, okay. And I broke down crying. Like, how do I find safety? I don't know. I've never felt safe in my body. So I'm like, okay, team, I need you to show me, how does it feel safe in my body? What do I do? And that's when I literally opened up my ISIS cards. And the card flew out before he even shuffled or did anything. And it was all about healing the divine masculine from in and how to feel safe in your body. And I was like, yes, I've been working with the masculine and feminine inside for so long because I've denied and I've had these weird things, but it's this beautiful ebb and flow inside of us is both masculine and feminine. So I have a video actually on Instagram that I talk about that as well. If it's got the cards on it, I think, as the title, and that talks about a lot of how to feel safe.
Right. So we don't need other people to make us feel safe. We have everything within us. We don't have to look around. We don't have to hope our mom or dad or man or woman make us safe. We do it. It's our job. No one can make us feel safe but us.
It's so important.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be self-sovereign. We are getting out of our codependent tendencies and moving into our divine tendencies.
Yeah.
So it is time to come back to self. So in this body, this is how we get to the ascension. I've experienced not feeling in my body, knock head. Is that yes? So how do you, okay. So a couple things in yes, absolutely. I've definitely, so some of the ways I find if you are one of those people who don't always live in our body, if you've had sexual trauma, super common, any kind of trauma, really physical trauma, abusive family growing up, childhood trauma kind of sticks with us the longest because it's where our brain is in development. So I find even in, like, for example, massages, like I can only deal with soft. I love deep tissue massages. You like more pressure.
Yeah.
You like sometimes tighter clothes because it's like this, it's this hug. And so what happens is just that little hug helps put you more in your body. So if you feel like you're not always in your body, first go to breath. Breath always puts you in your body. So I think the 3 ways to really connect with the divine is to ask the questions, to choose, to use your free will, and then to do breath, and then coming to center, meditating, those kind of practices. And then obviously the sexual union with God and divine. And when you break up the word tantra, in my world, it means a deeper connection to the divine, God, the universe. There's all kinds of different words for it, but that's really what you're doing, is you're literally opening your gate to allow more divinity, to allow this pure love within you radiate. And you're here to just show up and just be that loving space. And that's why I started getting into the tantra world, because it was such a sexual healing, and I had no idea it was sexual healing. I thought it was just to do with sex. I'm like, I know how to do sex, but no, we never get taught how to have sex, but yet it is how we procreate. It's a very important aspect of relationship, especially with self. We're sexual beings from in the womb. We show our first signs of sexualness from being in a baby inside the womb. We've been programmed to be shamed, in my opinion, because it limits you. If you cancel and erase all the shaming, anything that they've taught us to be, and you come back into the union with self, it is a beautiful time to be divine. That was when I started seeing some of the dimensions as well, and started the openings, and I could actually feel myself going into different timelines in my orgasmic state. And I could see myself in Greece. I could see myself in Egypt. Like, I could literally bring in those consciousnesses in those moments. And it was really interesting, because it's like I'm connecting with myself, even though it's like a different timeline.
Yeah, I felt that. I know, I feel you.
Yeah. So I think those are the main ways to come back. So simple techniques, breath work, breathe in, really deep, slow breaths. And if you find yourself in a panic, I also have some videos on techniques on how to take out the trauma where you are in that moment. But breathing, simple, slow. I like to do in through your nose. Fill the belly up. Most people breathe from the chest. Chest is very shallow breathing. If you break down the prana literally is your life force energy. So if you are doing shallow breaths, you are probably pretty depressed. You're probably pretty disconnected. You're probably pretty stressed. It's this shallow breath because it's this life force. We've shut down from our life force. So the more you can breathe in the life force, the more life force you will start to embody. So very important to start doing those breath works, right? So deep, slow, deep breath through your belly, and then fill your chest. And then I like to hold it for a few seconds. And again, slow, deep breath. If you are in a panic high state, I do recommend slow through your mouth. But if not, I just like to do my nose.
And most people are in like a panic during the day, whether it be at work, and it's like we're in a constant inhale. That's how I personally feel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, woman, like breathe. Like, and then you do it. You breathe through your nose, not just your mouth. And just, it's really important. It changes your energy, it changes how you feel.
So one of the questions real quick is, she said, how can I get people to go to this? I know it's a very special experience with my hubby. Breathe slow, and I would like to breathe the exercise. So there's a lot to it. One of my simple things that everybody can start practicing to really find the intimacy and the connection is to eye gaze. And then you just look each other. I like to do the left eye. I think I'm reversed on this, but this is my left eye. And it's like you can look into each other's soul. And sometimes in eye gazing too, and just that connection, I do see people's faces transform into the past lives I've known them, or their form. If I've seen alien, I've seen all kinds of forms. So to me, it's a place of, it's like you go into this gaze and you just allow. And then, like, again, I like to connect. So if you're with your partner or a friend, always ask permission. But if you ask permission, then you can put your hand on each other's hearts. And then if you're holding each other's hearts, you can also put your other hand on their hand. So it's like you're always connecting. Very important for touch is always connection. We are energy, right? So if I connect, that energy is now circling. That's part of the beauty of tantric sex. When you really understand, I don't even like calling it sex. I like sacred union, because a woman's energy is in her yoni, right? It is the only chakra you can touch, is that energy meridian. My earring just and how special is that we get to touch that energy meridian? Like, that's amazing. So when you are in, and then a man, this is a funny thing too about the masculine and feminine. So in order for us to open up our womb, or I call it yoni, you have to feel love and open up here, right? Well, part of a man opens up his heart once his lingam is, so it's this beautiful dance. And I think you can all, if you've slept with someone in the wrong timing, like it was too soon, like it's like this awkwardness because you weren't really ready for it. And so I find this masculine and feminine dance in every aspect of our lives. So if you're opening up your yoni and they're inside of you, and their lingam is their energy wand, or I call it their magic wand, and then your heart connecting and centering, you literally, if you can just breathe in those energies up and exhale, and even in self, I like to a lot of times just hold myself and send energy in my hand, and then I literally imagine pulling it up all the way up into my brain, and I kind of hold it. Let's do this real quick. We'll do a quick, I didn't expect to play this, but if you're sitting up or laying down, I'm a person that I really like to lay down, but I'm sitting up at the moment, so sit up if you can. Close your eyes, and then I'm going to talk about squeezing your PC. Your PC is your pelvic floor. It's where you squeeze if you want to hold into going to the bathroom. And inside the woman, we actually have many different things, but we'll just get to the simplicity. And then you can also squeeze your butt, right? If you're holding in a tube, you squeeze it real tight. So when I talk about squeezing, those are the muscles I really want you to squeeze. Okay, now I like connecting, so we're gonna connect your energy. So I like to do one hand over your heart, and then you choose if you wanna let's hold your womb or your sacred space. So your sexual energy organs is your sacral chakra. So I want you to put your hand over your sacral. And this connection between your heart and your sacral is also intentionally sending love, right? So I want you to just take a deep breath in, tighter, 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 and I want you to hold it. And then you're gonna squeeze your PC and relax. Squeeze your PC, relax, squeeze your PC, relax. And then I want you just to exhale and slowly just breathe out. Now we're gonna do that again. And I want you to take a deep breath in, all the way, fill it, fill it, fill it. And you're gonna hold your breath. And then I want you to keep squeezing your PCs. And I want you to imagine squeezing this beautiful white energy all the way up into your brain. And squeeze all the way up into your brain. And then I want you to relax and let go. And exhale. And then we're gonna do a couple quick breaths. And I want you to imagine pulling that. We're gonna squeeze as we inhale, and you're gonna just imagine pulling that air all the way from your yoni or your lingam all the way up into your brain, this beautiful white light pumping it. Ready? So we're gonna go quick breath. So it's in, pump, out. In, pump, out. Okay, and then relax, exhale. All right.
I was like, I'm not ready for that.
Well, it is. So
I'll have to come back to it.
You can feel how lightheaded and how this like whoo comes. So you want to do slow practices of that. Some talk about the Kundalini, some talk about breath of fire. I don't do a lot of the fast breaths just because but it's not, that gets into breath work when you start to get into more. But yeah. When you're new to it, just know if you haven't done breath work before, I highly recommend it. It is a very spiritual experience. But those fast breaths and the deep breaths, like sometimes your hands will get tense, sometimes you'll feel lightheaded. So if you're going to do the breath work, it's really important to be laying down and relax, because just important to do that. But those are simple techniques of even just pulsing yourself and just imagining this energy coming up, and all the way it's like, yes. So I'll just give you that little sprinkle tonight for some really yummy stuff. And I love working with couples too, and I work with them in Zoom. So if you're having intimacy issues or you're wanting to explore different things, I do a lot of talk through that, and also sacred sexuality. So we don't even understand our bodies. And a lot of people don't actually have the conversation on how do I find pleasure with my partner without offending them. And so I also kind of work through that, and it's so much fun because
DM you, message you, email you.
Yeah, StaceyHarder.com, or you can find me on Instagram as Stacey Harder, Facebook Stacey Harder, and YouTube Stacey Harder.
It's her pleasure. This is what she loves to do. Don't be shy.
I do love it.
Yeah, reach out to her.
One more way, Esme, too, for your body. If you're starting to feel like you're getting in a place of like, woo, I find just holding yourself, like squeezing, it's just like a reminder of where your body starts and ends. So because we're this huge energy field, it's very easy to go in and out of our energy field, but it can take some effort. Not always, everybody's different, to remind yourself to come back into our body. But it's actually uber important right now, because as we need our body to ascend, it's our body that takes us there. And so that's why we really have to come back to the body and get to feel it, because this is our truth meter. Right now, we're being lied to everywhere. And so it's important to know your truth, because it's part of the plan. But that's, again, it goes back to choice. It goes back to free will, that every human has a free will. All right, now I'm going to go back to the original story. So as humanity started to shift into this lower, densest consciousness, there was a galactic interference of saying, okay, we need people or volunteers, beings, to say, we need to bring in the light force, basically. The ascension process is not always an easy one, but we need beings to join us in the human being experience to be able to raise the collective. And I'm sure if you're here, you're probably experienced, if you have experienced a lot of trauma, that's usually not by accident, because we've agreed to come in and help. So we're literally here to raise the planet. We're here to save Mother Earth, and it's already done. So that's already happened. But we have to feel. We have to shed light on it. We have to love it. So the most important thing is to let go of judgment, to let go of attachment. Surrender is being in what is, the being, human being. The most important thing is just being in your center, always allowing the truth and the guidance to be a part of who you are. So we have agreed to take on this dense world. And a lot of us came into this life with really tough experiences because we have agreed to take all the dark, right? Our most unhealthy issues is around sex and money. Look how much sexual trauma there is. I mean, there's 20 million people being sex trafficked in the world right now. Children, 20 million. We're here to stop it. We're not here to judge it. We're not here to put attachments on it. We're here to say enough is enough. We're done. This is our old version of humanity. We're bringing it now into where we were meant to be. Fifth dimension, the beauty, the love, the grace, the joy, the fun, the play. Just like a dog. A dog can go see two people arguing and fighting in one room in the kitchen, and they can walk into the living room and be perfectly content. That's our job. We're supposed to be around all this darkness and this hatred and this separation, but it's the unity, because we have come to alchemize it, and we're pulling itself into that higher consciousness.
Amazing.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Perfect sense. And I think people need to hear this more. Like, people need to realize how powerful they are, who they really are, why we're here. It's so important because nobody teaches. Exactly. No, we do have teachers. We do. Stacey's right there.
I just like playing with the shirt. It's fun.
Oh, you do? You're so silly.
It is. It's like, look at that. It's like a little curtain. I see you.
You're so silly.
It is silly, but it's fun. This is the other thing. Clothes are meant to be fun, y'all. Comfy and fun. So we were talking about this shirt earlier because it's just like, and it's just play. It's fun. I like it. But yeah, I think as teachers, in order to be a teacher, you have to be a student. And I definitely don't know everything. That's for sure. And no one person is. That's the
No,
beauty.
no.
Every single person has a puzzle piece. Every puzzle piece is different.
Every single person holds a different puzzle piece.
Yes, just like your fingerprint. Let's say this is your puzzle piece. There's no two the same, but yours is so important to this ascension, to the oneness, to the unity, to the divine, to the God. We are so important. So every single person holds different gifts. They remember different parts of the story, right? So we each have our own puzzle piece. And the more you own your divinity, the more you step into it, the more I want to know my gifts. I own my gifts. I surrender what no longer serves me and I give it to the divine and I step into the glory of who I am. I step into my power. This is the time if we step into that and say, I want to know more. At the beginning of all this, I literally felt so like, oh, very Joan of Arc. Like, I am ready. Let's go. And I felt like I had my swords. I had my battle. I had my shields. And I'm like, okay, universe, like the divine. I'm like, please let me do what I can to serve. I want to show up. I want to get through this. Let's do this. And I literally like honored and bow and like I cried because it felt like such an honor to be here.
Wow.
Now, the people or the beings that were chosen to come into human form, I believe when you're pregnant, you're kind of in and out of that consciousness because you're learning how to kind of play. But I do believe that you're truly dropped down into your entire body when you are birthed. And so that birthing process, I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of babies are like, ah, because it's like, what is this density? But as we drop into human form, everybody, I believe, agrees to everything in their life, especially as your child. Every single thing you've agreed to or prior to is part of your lessons, is part of your growth. Nothing is by accident.
13 and under, we can say maybe 13 and under. Yes,
that's definitely, my mom is always like, it's completely 100% determined.
Yeah.
We choose our parents and we choose our experience. And if you have a hard time with your parents, congratulations, because they're your greatest teachers. Ask yourself, first of all, it's okay to feel everything. There's no denying, there's no judging, there's no harshing. Love everything that you have. It's always a gift. So what did your parents teach you? What did they show you? A lot of time, it almost always comes back on how to love ourselves more, how to show up for ourselves. It's pretty much, that's it. That's one of the hardest things to do, is just learn how to love and show up for yourself. And so we choose these experiences to learn. Oh my gosh. Hi, baby. Guess who came on? He's gone now, but anyways, he's that's hilarious. I think he was on when I was doing this.
I know, literally. That's so funny. That's I was like, oh.
Yeah. I hope you don't watch it. Whatever. If you do.
Of course.
Okay. So, okay. Where were we?
Where were we?
Dropping it.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Okay. So when we drop into the human form, we're not alone. We have a whole team around us. When I say team, now I'm going to go into a little bit of different dimensions and little things, like people talk about angelic. I believe angelic realm, Palladians, Syrians. There's all kinds of beings and dimensions, right? And so some people say like Palladians could be like 6 to 8 dimension. Like there's even in the human, right? We have some humans 3 dimensions, some humans 5 dimension. Like it's totally normal to have those kind of.
Wait, you mean like the Palladians are on Earth?
So
and the dimensions are on Earth, or is it
we came in to play the game with Earth, right? Our galaxy are all, to me, this is how I'm putting it. If you can imagine, our galaxy is this like protected bubble of Earth experience. So all of the beings that have said we're going to come in are in here. It's why we have the stars, the planets, like, so it's why a lot of times we love these certain stars. Then you look it up, it's like a Syrian star. It's like, of course it's a Syrian star because you're Syrian. Right. So I believe those that aren't in body are all around us. Yes, some of them are here. And I believe that as we move into this next year, we're going to start to see a lot more forms. Because if you're, let's just say you're a Pleiadian and you're 8th dimension, they can actually change their vibration and drop into a deeper state so you can see them. If you close your eyes and literally think about your energy field, and just ask to see and feel your energy fields, you can usually feel like special lightness around you. And so to me, they're all with us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they can't interfere, they can't interrupt unless you ask for assistance, ask for help. That's why if you lose your keys, ask the angels, help me find my keys.
I do it all the time now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, thank you. I find it right away. I'm like, thank you.
Yes, it is.
Everything I lose, it's almost immediate.
Yeah.
If you ask, they will help. Anyone will help you.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So we have total free will.
Yeah. I don't want to struggle to find my keys or whatever, my phone.
And they want to help us. And so that's the thing, we have a whole team. And so I believe intuition comes in many forms, but I'm starting to find that in the difference inside myself. I can hear my higher self talking and I can hear my guides. They all sound a little different. It's like but it's not even sound, it's a vibration, right? So if you get into our gifts, clairvoyant, clairaudient, right? Clairsentient, there's all kinds of different ways we feel energy. Some people hear it, some people see it, some people experience it, some people smell it. It's all different. Yeah. Some people, it's like a download. It's like just instant knowledge. So I do recommend not claiming one because you're all of it. And the more you're around people with their gifts open and living in their gifts, the more your gifts will be.
Yes, be very, very specific on who you spend your time with, because your company is exactly who you will be.
Yes, right now we're losing friends like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Hi, like it's good. It feels, it's like no wonder we literally, I do believe this pause is really crucial and that we're shifting because now we're starting to question everything. Questioning is the first step into the ascension process. So the fact that we can interrupt our natural patterns to stop and think is the biggest gift. It is not. Yeah, all of this is so.
It's never been done. What do you mean pause the world? What do you mean close the economy? No, never been done.
Yeah, and we there's been people who talked about this time for years, and we know it's coming. We know it's here. We could have never really predicted it exactly this way, but that's beauty. We're living. So I also believe this is all illusion. It's like our movie theater. Every movie. This is the other thing. You can all go to a movie, right? And now 2 people will walk away with the same.
No way.
Of the movie.
No way.
But they all saw the same thing. They all experience the same thing. But it's our reception. So this to me is life. We create our own TV, our own movie. We are the writer, the director, the producer, the creator, the casting. We choose everything. And so that's the important parts. If you haven't taken my mom's mind master class, I do recommend it. You have a subconscious and you have a conscious. Mm-hmm. Both super crucial, important. And then I also believe you have the ego brain. Anything is in your subconscious. It naturally is like pulling in, like, oh, I'm grabbing this, pulling it in. And as it pulls it in, it takes it and puts it out into this world, right? That's why that deep programming of feeling you're not lovable is really important to erase, delete, and recreate. I am lovable. I am. And then get rid of commercials because all that stuff is deprogramming and that,
Get rid of TV.
Yeah.
It's really
I like
hard.
though. I will say sometimes I like some movies. I love movies. In fact,
I don't know. Pick like psychological thrillers all the time because I like the psychology and it's not a good time.
No, I can't watch scary movies because I don't watch a movie, I experience a movie, so I feel it. So for me, like, very important what you put into your world.
I mean, psychological drama is not like horror. Still, it's not good.
This is not the healthiest thing, but at least it's organic and it's better than not eating. But our thoughts, our body, what we put on it, what we put in it, our lotions, all this stuff. Our skin is our largest organ. This is everything you put on your skin. If you're not going to eat it, don't put it in your skin because your skin is eating it for you. But this is a really important time of who you surround your bubble in. Positive people, negative people, relationships are shifting and changing because as you evolve, the more you open up into your divineness, the more the lesser lights are just going to naturally shed because you're now coming into this higher place and you're going to attract your tribe. It's like your high vibe tribe.
They won't want to be around you. They won't want to be around you either because you're too light. You're too bright. You're too positive. You're too loving. They're like, what are you so happy about? Or
the thing is, we're a mirror. Nobody can do anything other than be a mirror for you. So what happens, they say this because they're denying their love and they're denying their light. So they can't be around this because they're not willing to see their divinity yet. And they're all on their divine path. So it's all perfect, right? Yeah. So if you find yourself hating someone, Trump's a perfect example of people hating on him.
Yeah.
I've learned to find unconditional love because that is our greatest duty and our greatest thing is to love everyone, even the toughest people. They need the most love.
Yeah.
And once I was truly in a place, I think it was in March, that I was able to just actually send him love, things changed. I got to see a different side. I got to see a different truth because I opened up to also know truth and I started claiming in truth. You get to find truth. I do believe, in my opinion, he's doing a lot of really positive things for this country that are not just this country, this world.
Global.
Yeah, they watch for words and key things, so I don't want to talk about it at this point because they will shut you down. Because we've lost free will and free speech in this country. Yesterday, they deleted over 6,000 people on Facebook because they went against
Is that the biggest sign ever that we are being attacked?
But
sorry to use a word, but
it's important for us to find our own truth.
Yes, exactly.
It is about coming together. So it is literally all teaching us. If you have issues, what is this teaching me? Keep asking questions. What does this teach me? Why is this bringing into my life? Who is this person? Like, ask, what's behind this? What could be the other thing? Like, if you're trying to shut down the evil child sex trafficking around the world in this global network, like, that makes sense of why you could be so hated.
Yeah.
That makes sense of so ask questions. Please ask questions. Ask your team. Your team is always there to say whatever you want. They literally are here to help support you. So I find there's moments where I just feel like, poof, and I will literally, I don't know why, I don't never do it in real life, but I get on my knees usually a lot of times in just this great honor and appreciation and like prayer. Like, thank you. And then anything I don't want to, I don't know how to deal with, I give it to them. Like, help me process this. Help me learn from this. Help me move through this.
They want to carry our burdens. They want to they want to do that.
Yes. Yep. And I love, there's a question. She said, I sleep with a weighted blanket. Otherwise I toss and turn. Totally. I went through a period that I had a weighted blanket too. And then once I hurt my knee, I couldn't use it because
weight.
Yeah, and then it was just not good on the knee. That was huge. So that's also very common in premature children. So premature children, when they come out of the womb too early, they usually need a lot more of this denser putting you in your body kind of thing. She got deleted from Facebook.
Who?
Our Australian friend.
What?
Yeah, she was deleted. She's part of it. So there you go. Yep. It's happening. And ask, why is this happening? And also know, there is an agenda. And if you ask no truth and send it love, the most powerful thing we can do is send love. In fact, let me read you my card. Because I like this. Yes. I'm just going to read it while you're there. Yeah. So this is from Enlightened Network. Enlightened Women, Enlighten You, Words of Wisdom. And it's their own little deck of cards. So this is my card. Live love. Our greatest gift is to be in a vibratory state of unconditional love, to accept everything and everyone without judgment or resistance, to share love and to receive love, to breathe in love and to breathe out love. Let every word you think and speak increase your love vibration. Let every step you take send your love into our earth and receive the earth's love in return. Intentionally live love. Stacy Harder. That's mine. So I really truly believe that when we die, it's not about how many houses you had or what's your purse or what your clothes look like. It is about how much love did you bring to this planet? How much love did you bring into the people in your life? And so to me, the greatest gift you can ever do is just to be love, give love, send love, and intentionally step with love into the earth, intentionally speak every word with love. We can connect with love. We're the most powerful force ever.
It's true. It changes everything, every situation.
It's
people can't hate someone that is loving them.
well, the thing is,
try, but they don't.
Hurt people, healed people heal people. So I do believe humanity means well, but what happens is they weren't taught well, or they didn't learn. And so it's all where we are. Like I just believe nothing is by accident. I know that. I know. And it's like every time I look at your life circumstances being a gift, it changes everything. And it's like, you're not a victim. It might feel like you're a victim, but you're not. You might feel broken, but you're not. You are always whole. You are always healthy. You might have unhealthy patterns, but you are always whole. You're never broken. I do feel that sexual trauma can damage the soul, not damage. I think it can, it has a deeper thing that can occur, but I don't ever believe that you're still a wholeness, right? And so our body is keeping that density form. And that's the other thing, as we go into the higher vibration, we change. We go through physical symptoms because it's a physical change. So if you're sleeping, that's the first indication your sleep changes. No two people process energy early. You saw me earlier, I get hot and sweaty. I usually get really red. Some people get really cold. Again, energy is always transforming. If you're not familiar with energy, if you just play, like rub your hands together and then stop and pull them apart, it's like, whoa, you feel that?
Yeah.
Yep. And then pull it apart and you can still feel it. And then what I like to do is play with it. Imagine like your right hand sending your left hand love. And like, what does that feel like? And then throwing it back to your right hand and feeling that.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. And so this is a fun game to play too. If you're with people, you just put your hands up to each other and everybody's different. So some people have to go really close. Some people can go farther away. And then you can literally just play with it as you close your eyes. Ask them to let them know if they feel a shift or change. Some people feel cold, some people feel tingly, some people feel heat, right? There's no way to explain with words because it's an energy, but everybody has energy things. And sometimes when you rub your hands together first, it just also clears it a little bit so you can focus more. It's like waking up, like, okay, here. And so everything is energy. But it's like, it's really cool when you start to like get into it.
Yeah, we have time, nothing but time to try and to play.
Yeah.
Do you get any questions?
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
I had Reiki done once and it was weird. I felt pressure release from my head, crown chakra. Yeah. So I do Reiki. I learned Reiki as a teenager from our spiritual bookstore. I was in college at the time. It's fun because I had to drive up during the weekends and come. So Reiki is an ancient form of healing. I think it's been around also for around $5,000 or 5,000 years in Japan. And I felt the energy. Wow. Yeah, it's true. It's like, whoa. It's a very magical. And one of the things I really appreciate about Reiki that taught me as a healer from a long beginning is that Reiki is the gift for the higher self of that person. You're there to not fix. You give them the opportunity. You give them this unconditional source energy, and they get to choose whether, like, let's say that someone's gotten through cancer. We don't know what their soul contract is between there and their body, or them and their soul, right? So this is their choice. This is their situation. And a lot of times that's unprocessed fear and anger. And so if you are sending Reiki, basically that person can use it to transition easier and go through the death process easier, or they can heal or fix. It's not about what you want. It's honoring what they, for the best and highest good of their self. And so that's one of my favorite things about the practice of Reiki, is because you're giving this unconditional love. And that's the most important thing about love. Unconditional love is not, I'm giving them love to fix this or to change this.
Yeah.
It is pure unconditional love.
Truly.
Yeah. So if I give you $100 for your birthday and I say, you can buy your school books with this, that's not an unconditional gift. That's a conditional gift. Mm-hmm. So just know unconditional love is not what they do with it. It's not changing anything. It's just sending it love, but it's the most powerful vibration. And you'll see instantly some people that if you're in an argument with at a store, if you just send love, it's like they naturally, you could see this shift change. It's like, okay, so it's your most superpower. Literally, it's a superpower.
Yeah.
So Insta is going to kick me off in a minute.
2 hours.
I know.
Like nothing.
It is. And we were talking on the phone for a while too. So yeah. I just want to say thank you on Instagram. I all the way from Australia.
I love Australia.
Right?
Yeah. It's my dream. It's always been my dream to go to Australia. I've been thinking Australia's been in my heart for many years.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been yet.
Me either.
Someday.
Such good people.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. This is really interesting me. Thanks for having me. Oh. Yep. It didn't let me save it.
What?
It just says, sorry, your video ended. It does that. It does that a lot. Instagram is funny. But everyone
is, they're all, no, they can't.
I use words that they don't want you using.
Yeah, I know words.
Yeah. So I send love.
Of course. No, we'll need to remember that. To even send the yuckies love. That's the only way we're going to change it. If we send them love, they get they can't be as yucky.
Well, if we send love, we also are trusting and surrendering to the universe and knowing that it's all perfect. And so when you kind of come back to that place of love, it's a place of center. It's who we are, and that's our home. So it's the most magical place. It's also the manifestation place. But again, we really have to be kind to ourselves. We really have to cut that self-criticism out, because we're going to move into manifestation, and you really don't want to be creating that.
Yeah.
You really need to start loving, appreciating, honoring. And even if you don't, fake it till you make it. That's how you start. Start looking yourself in the mirror. I love you. I love you. And I used to be in tears by the third time I said I love you, because it was like my inside was like, yes, just love me. So I fought it with my brain.
Yeah.
I love me. I'm divinely perfect and exactly where I need to be in exactly this moment. Own who you are.
Yeah.
Questions?
What? Questions. I had, and it went away.
Okay, well, we can go back to ascension signs. All right, so we have sleeping, different patterns of sleep. You can be sleeping a lot more, you can be sleeping a lot less. Right? I think that's pretty easy to find
Yeah.
that we've doing that. Yeah. And then food.
Mm-hmm.
We want to eat more. Sometimes we want to eat less. One thing I do recommend is drinking clean water, however that comes and looks for you, but extra water drinking, because what happens is we're getting rid of the density. It's very common to get diarrhea too. You have to release all the stuff that's no longer serving you. So if you want to help that process, you drink a lot of extra water. Anytime you drink a tea or soda, you need that extra water to replace it. And they say you should, whatever your body weight is, let's just say you're 200 pounds, then you should be drinking double the weight. So it'll be 4, take off 1 0, and that means 40 ounces. No, 200, 400 ounces. So if you weigh 120 pounds, then you should be drinking double, 240 ounces. No, half of it, just kidding, half. I want to pause and do that again. If you weigh 140 pounds, then you're going to take 70 ounces of water. So it's half of your body weight. I knew I was getting confused. So half of your body weight, but turning into ounces if you're in pounds. But waters are really, really important to help flush and move through. I like to always go to the bathroom and set intentions that I release anything that no longer serves me with ease and grace. And I just imagine myself opening up to the divine and flooding with this beautiful love, unconditional, and just poof, and allow that flood to come in. Yes, half your weight. Yep, that's it. And then, so eating patterns change. I find also, yes, in ounces. That's people's skin. A lot of us are breaking out that don't have breakout issues. So it's getting the toxins out. Just trust. It's okay. Some people get light-weighted. Some people get nauseous. Everybody processes the energy. So the more you can learn to alchemize it easily, and again, it can be super easy. It can be super simple, but we create our own reality. So all the thoughts, all the things are our reality. And I find food cravings change. Sometimes I find I need really heavy foods because the heavy foods help keep me grounded. Heavy for me, I don't eat meat, haven't eaten meat in 30 years. So heavy for me would be like a veggie burger and onion rings or something. And that to me is more dense versus a light organic raw smoothie is a higher. So you might need lighter, or you might need heavier. Everybody's different. My little secret sauce is like, I have a little thing of vanilla ice cream and a little thing of hot fudge and little pecans. And I just have like 2 bites of that every once in a while. I'm like, yes, it's so good. But then I can't eat much because my tongue's like burns. But play, be kind, be gentle. If you're craving something, ask your body if it wants it, and you'll know, yes, I want it. So very important to let go of judgment, to let go of anger, to let go of fear, and to let go of comparison, and just intentionally choose. You get to choose.
And trust yourselves and your instincts, your feelings with everything.
Yes.
If you're picking a soup, if you're everything, anything.
Yeah.
Any and everything.
Yep. And we're literally living in the matrix right now. So you choose. I believe it's like your subconscious plugged in, and this world that you're seeing is like you're creating it, even though it might not feel like it. I promise you, you are. So you get to choose. What do you want to see? What do you want to focus on? And as soon as you recognize, oof, this feels terrible, then you get to choose different. It's that simple. Life is your choice. Own it. Take your power back. Step in your power. No one can affect your power. Your power is only yours and will only be yours.
Yeah. They can't, no one can take your spirit. They just can't. It's yours. We choose. We choose what we want to feel. We choose everything.
Yes.
People just need to hear it more. I need to hear it more. I'm not saying everyone else, like I do too. You know, a lot of people don't talk about it.
Sorry, I got a text. So I'm like, what's this, huh? I'm like, oh, that's a phone. There's a text message because my brain is in a different place.
Yeah.
So just be kind, be gentle. Water is really important right now. Sleep. I've been sleeping extra. What are you putting into your mind? Very important. Remember to ask to know truth. ask for protection and guidance. So you'll always have your team able. Your team cannot interfere with your life unless it's like a divine path kind of thing, which is why you'll get those huge instincts. Go here, do this. Like they're always guiding you because it's all part of your divine plan. And so the more you listen to it, the easier it is to hear it. And so it's a perfect example of talking to her tonight. Like we were on the phone, my insides were saying, you should be on live right now talking. You should be on live right now talking. But it's like, I just kind of quieted it. I didn't really consciously connect it until she was like, we should be on live. And I'm like, 100%. I've heard this message inside myself and I was ignoring it. You're right. And I know because I feel so much better when I do this. Like I feel more alive. It allows me to have my soul essence. Like, yes, this is my happy place. I love sharing. It's like, oh my God, all the years of studying and training and learning about trauma. And now I know how to get it out. Like, oh my God. It's like, now I understand why I went through rape, why I went through sexual assault, why I went through, you know what I mean? Like all of this stuff is like, finally is like, it makes sense. I'm here to help everybody else move through it and get through it. So just know it's not by accident. Nothing is by accident. And you can take your power back by just choosing. I choose me. And that's what's important right now. What do you want? Do you want to hang out with this person? I want to hang out with this person.
You.
Yeah. And that's the beauty. Like everything looks different. And that's the beauty is we're learning how to just be in the flow and surrender. And that's been a hard one for me in the past. I'm learning how to move through surrender with ease and grace because as that childhood trauma, like I kept myself safe, right? In knowing this and having this and having that. And that really doesn't keep you safe. It's just you're trying, you know, but it's the ego. And as soon as we become friends with our ego and understand like, oh, that's just the part of the brain. Like you can't, we always have those feelings like you should do this. And then that part is like, who are you to go on there and do a live? Who are you there to talk about this and teach this? Like I did motivational speaking for a while. And there was a big part of me that's like, who are you to be a motivational speaker for these high schoolers and these things? Like, who are you to go travel around? Like, and it's like, who am I not? But exactly. You sometimes have those conversations. And I think the last time I got to speak, it was so fun. It was a women's retreat in Canada. And I was so a little nervous because I haven't spoken in a while. And I'm like, 3 days, like, okay, we could do this. I didn't speak the full time 3 days, but I spoke all 3 days. And it was fun and I love it. And at the same time, it's like, you'll know when you're on your path because it will light you up. It will energize you. It will just feel like coming home. It's like, yes. And the more you get into your body, the more you allow this pleasure and this love, it literally is shifting you energetically. The more you can allow fun, the more you can allow play, the more you can allow joy and laughter and yumminess. What's yumminess to you? Homework right now. Make a list of 40 things. 40 things that really turn you on or make you happy. For me, a bathtub with bubble baths and Epsom salts. Yeah. Fresh flowers. Yes. I love this. Not this one. It's the Mopal. Same brand, but it's oh my God. It's my favorite. I love it. You know what else? These. I love these. This is the kids one, but they have the other again.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, are you drinking a juice box?
No, it's this one's a kids protein shake, but they're just vegetarian, gluten-free. But because I haven't been wanting a lot of food lately, I've been wanting more of this. It just has my nutrients and protein and then I don't have to think about it.
Cool.
I've been stocking up on food, but I also don't really want to eat a lot of food. So I just listen to my body. And then there's sometimes I'll be like, I need fats like nuts and avocados. So again, everybody's body's different. Listen to your body, ask your body to show you, teach you. What are some other ways so making a list. So I love fresh flowers, walks. I love walks. Like what are 5 things that you really enjoy?
my animals, obviously.
Oh, yes.
I
Yes.
love I love the sun. Like I love, just sitting outside, running around like in my yard. I love baths. I find them so cleansing, so relaxing. You just feel like so much better. Shower, baths, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and this, I love talking to you and just learning the truth. Just researching, figuring out everything. There's so much to learn. There's so much to learn and so much to teach and just what are you gonna say?
No, I'm totally with you. And you were talking
Yeah.
about nature. Nature's a very special place. I also believe nature's at least fifth dimensional. And that's why when we're in nature, whether it's a beach, whether it's hiking, the mountains, the lake, we feel calmness. We
Yeah.
feel serenity. We feel surrender. We feel peace. We feel joy. It's like your stresses go away. You literally feel different because you're in a higher vibrational frequency. And so when you are feeling heavy, when you are feeling dense, if you can, go to nature, take your bare feet, put them on the dirt, put them on the sand. There's negative ions that literally change your structure. That's the beauty of it too. Science can back all of this stuff up, even the vibrational state. So we're going from this denseness, right, to a slower things, and we're moving literally into a higher vibration. So all that dense and the heavy can't stay on. So that's why we're in this place where anger, frustration, triggers, like we're getting so triggered, we're getting so things. And if you see it as a mirror, this is me. It's not about the other person. It's never about the other person. You take every trigger and look at what is it me. And for me, like angry at this lady who's telling me I need to wear a mask, like it's angry at me for not actually speaking my truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm upset with her for speaking her truth. Doesn't necessarily go with my truth, but it really comes down to, I'm not speaking my truth.
Yes. It makes total sense because it's not her. Who cares what she thinks? It's me. It's like, no, like I need to say this, but I'm not going to say it because she's already decided for me. And
so yeah. And so that's the gift. And so I've been finding that too, is like, and what you'll find too is when you make the intentions to start changing your behaviors, you'll get these little, I don't want to say tests, but you'll get these little practices like, okay, so this is what you want. Now we're going to be put in a situation. I was at the post office, right? And this lady was being rude to this lady, and this white lady was trying to send something back that didn't fit her. And she was getting frustrated. She's like, well, this is, like, and the lady's like, no. She's like, do you have tape? She's like, no, you can't use tape. Like, I don't have tape, blah, blah, blah. You can blah, blah, blah. Like, she was being rude. And she's like, well, how am I supposed to get it in? And she's like, it's ripping. I'm not going to send it. I'm not putting my name on it. She's like, if you want to, you want to put it in the automatic thing, but there's no guarantee. She's like, but I'm not putting my, post op, whatever it is, their name when they're sending something. And so I just looked at her, I was like, oh, make a suggestion. She's like, yes, please. I'm like, so take these bags and then you, because they have those envelopes, right? That are like, material /
barely envelope. Yeah.
So I said, this is how I learned, but literally you take that, squeeze it down, seal it, and then put it in the other envelope, and then it stays small. And then the lady's like, you can't do that. Those are for mailing only. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, I looked at her at first, I got mad, right? Because she's like yelling at me, and I'm like, no, actually I can. You might say you don't want me to, but there's no laws against it, and they're there for free. In fact, I can go online and get 100 free ones if I wanted to. There is no rules that say, and there's no signs that say you can't use it unless it's a mailing envelope. And I've received so many packages that are doubled and tripled bagged. Like, that's just, everybody does that. In fact, if I wanted to, I can go take the whole pile right there because they're free. Like, you know, I didn't say that many words, but I was very nice and I was pretty proud of myself. I still did it with my power because I was like, Stacey, you don't have to shut up. You can use your throat and talk clearly. And that's another thing with common sexual trauma is we feel stuck here. And so just when you're feeling tense, just sound it out. It's a huge thing. Like, sounding out is really important. It actually rewires that vagus nerve. So there's all kinds of things, but that's a quick, simple thing. If you're feeling any like tightness, just Get it out. Release. Then what do you want to replace it with? Love. And then I literally connect my heart through my throat, and I just say everything I want to say comes with love. And it's a practice for me. It's been a real big practice. So I literally was so proud of myself that I was like, I was able to talk to this lady. I was like, actually, no, I can. If I wanted to, I can. Like, there's no rules. You might not like it, but I can go online and get them for free. They're free right there. Like, I actually can if I wanted to. And she got so mad at me, but I was so proud of myself that I was like, and she hated me because I was also like cool. Cause I've been in this post office for like 7 years. They know me. I don't know her. She's new or whatever. I think she was there once and she's yelling at our customer, but I was like, whatever. And this other dude's like, what's up, the girl? Like, how you doing, sister? I'm like, how you doing? I miss you. And he took his mask off when he was talking to me and all this stuff. And the whole post office is kind of like, I was like, yeah. But she got so mad because she's like, who are you to be talking and being nice and helpful? And then the white girl's like, thank you. At least somebody's being nice and trying to help me. She's like, you work here. I'm like, no. I'm like, I come here a lot, like, if I had tape, I would totally give it to you. And she's like, oh my God, that's so nice. I'm like, well, it's true.
Yeah,
like,
kindness. Duh.
Yeah, I just came with my roommate. She was mailing something. So I was like, okay. That's
why you went, to save the woman.
Yeah, well, it just felt good. It was my practice. Practice. And my mom gets on me a lot, like, speak it from love. Because when we're angry and we have this thing, it's like, it sounds, and it's got a lot of our energy in the back of it. But if you can remember to reconnect everything you say and say it with love and compassion, and it's like, oh, it changes everything and it's able to receive different. So our energy coming out is how people respond. But what we allow in our energy field is also our response. I could have let her got me in the past. I would have shut up. I would have been like, inside, like, can't believe she just said that. But
yeah,
it's like, wait, she speaks so freely. So can I.
Yes.
You're not here.
They're bullies. They don't want us to be free. They don't want that.
Right.
But so light the way for other people. Like, people are watching us too.
Yeah, she said I walked in the beach and it helped me feel in my body, and it's totally true. I've been going to the beach a lot during this. In fact, I've been swimming in the ocean a lot more than I ever have, and I've been in LA in the water.
Beach is my happy place. If I was close, I mean, I'm like an hour and a half, but living on the water is a totally, like, I felt like a totally different person when I did. Like, you couldn't put me in a bad mood. Impossible. Just was never.
It's pretty epic. It's been closed a lot, so I got yelled at quite a bit. You can't be here. I'm like, well, I'm here.
You're like, well, because I'm here.
A lot of the times I would get away with it, but there's a lot of times I'm like, come on, like, just being human.
That's why they're holding it from us, because they know.
I had ulcers when I was younger because I never said anything I felt. Now I say everything I want regardless. Yeah. And that's the thing. But again, it's important because we're karmically responsible for all of our own actions. That it is important, my beliefs, that to say anything you say should still be said with love. That we can be very clear on our boundaries, but be kind about it. If you are intentionally being mean, if you intentionally say things to hurt people, whatever you give out, you will receive back almost tenfold. So it's so important karmically to be responsible for all of your own energy. And so especially if you're giving out love, guess what? Guess what you receive back?
Tenfold love.
Yes. So if I'm spreading more hate and more fear, I'm going to get a lot more of that back. So that's the beauty of this life. It's this wild, simple, but yet so complex that literally what we give out, we receive. And so it is so important for you to consciously choose, what do you want to give out and what do you want to receive? And for me, service. I'm like, how do I be of service? I want to be of service. And it shows up differently. And for me, I love these lives. This is what I want. I want a talk show with my mom.
You already have one, silly.
Yes, that's true. But I like to get, I want some money.
Will. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, babe.
Yep, I just kept everything that bothered me inside and never told people they were hurting me or we were crossing boundaries. Yeah. And so that's the thing I find when we have those situations, we keep getting those situations until we choose to learn our lesson. And that's what it works. We have the ability to get our lessons super easily with ease and grace, or we can choose to go through it and it can be a little harder of a process. That was me and my sexual harassment. I was at a job that was getting sexually harassed and I hated going to work. I had this super intense anxiety every time I had to drive, and it was less than 2 miles. And yet it was supposed to be a fun, easy job that I could do when I was writing my book. And I was like, okay, it'll be fun, it'll be play and blah, blah. And then I literally had so much resistance, but the Capricorn in me that was like, I don't want to quit anything. I can do this, like, you're strong. I don't like quitting. I don't like quitting. Until the universe knocked me around a few times, and it wasn't until I fell that I was like, okay, you didn't listen. You could have learned your lesson a little bit easier, but you will.
That's when it.
Yeah. So the lessons can come easily, the lessons can come big time. But the thing is, when you weren't able to keep that inside, once you learn that lesson, it's like, oh.
It's true.
That's why we're here. We're here to change all. And if you've been in lifetimes, all of this karmic stuff, we're like clearing it out. All this lower stuff, we're clearing it out. We're literally going through stuff that humanity has never experienced. So please be kind. Please choose. I want to go through with ease and grace. I want to learn with ease and grace. Just play with it. Have fun with it.
Yeah, it's great advice. That's what we're here for, to have fun.
Yep. And I do recommend making some power statements every day before you go to bed and before you wake up in the morning. Just, what do you want? I want to serve the divine. I want to fill my life with love and give out love. I want to step into my divinity. I own my powers. I own my magic. Like, whatever. And sometimes too, when I was going through, like, I really wanted to have more intuition. I really wanted to have more of my stuff. And so you just ask, okay, team, will you help me? And again, own it. Shaman Durek talks about downloading, whatever. I don't exactly his words, but it's like, okay, I choose to turn my gift of clairvoyance. I choose to have my clairaudience. Like, I literally imagine these gifts like, yes, I own them. I want them. And it really is, it's pretty amazing. And then you start getting it and you're like, oh, duh, this has been the whole time. Like, how did I not see that this was this and this is that? And so it's kind of fun. Like,
it is.
Yeah, like the team. I don't realize, like, the whole time our intuition has always been our team. It's always, you can start to hear the different energies of which team, or if it's your higher self or it's angels, like you can feel it once you start tuning into it. And it's like, oh yeah. And I do believe to never settle for less, because you deserve all of it.
Everyone does.
And it takes effort. If you're in a relationship, I think the most beautiful gift about relationships is you can, to me, it's like a tenfold. It's like times 10. If you're going through ascension, it's times 10. You're going through lessons, it's times 10. It's like this intensity, but that's the magic of it. It is so beautiful and so sacred when you're in alignment. And it is the biggest opportunity to move through the deepest wounds. As long as you remember, it's not that person. You're there just mirroring for them, and you can be that supportive space and hold that love and hold that divineness, that when we get hurt, the deepest wounds we have, usually from our childhood or parents, only your deep, usually your sexual connection with your partner are the only time you can shed light onto those darkness. And that's what we're here to do. Shine the light on the darkness to move through it with love, not holding on to attachments. I remember I was raped. Oh, this is terrible. This is awful. I can't believe, like, when I got to see that in the vision, there's no attachments to it. It was just this bubble, this experience. It was like, okay, this is what I agreed to. I chose to tie attachments to it. I chose to say, this is terrible. And I know that situation brought me back home. It took years. It took a lot of journey, but I am so much more in my body, in my skin that I have ever been. And so I took the pain to be my greatest gift. And you can too.
Yeah, absolutely.
My body had enough. I literally had a Pepto bottle in the car, work locker purse home, and I had enough. I learned my lesson of keeping quiet and submissive. It's powerful. I wonder, let's see what this says.
Right.
It feels like it's burning the inside. Okay, let's look up and just see what it says.
Cool.
T, where's the U? There's no U. Just kidding. I missed it.
So silly.
They were stuck together. Okay, ulcers. You can also see heartburn or peptic ulcer, stomach problems. Ulcers are fear, a strong belief that you are not good enough, what is eating away at you. And you were talking about not expressing your words, it's eating away at you. That's exactly it. And then your new thought pattern, right? So you cancel, erase, and replace. When you find yourself in that, I can't speak up, you cancel that, you recognize it, cancel, choose to get rid of it, and then you choose to replace it with what you want. So the new thing is, I love and approve of myself. Go ahead, you say it.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love and approve of myself.
I love and approve of myself.
I am at peace.
I am at peace.
I am calm.
I am calm.
All is well.
All is well.
Yes, I love and approve of myself.
I love and approve of myself.
I am at peace and I am calm.
I am at peace and I am calm.
All is well.
All is well.
And words are
You
powerful.
feel it. They really are.
Your magic spells. Please, if you take away one thing tonight, remember, you are more magical than you will ever remember. Choose to step into your divinity. Choose to own your beauty, own your magic, own your grace, own all of who you are. Everything is our greatest teacher. We are here together as a whole to literally change the planet. And the time is now. As we move into the future, there may be challenges ahead of us, because what happens as we're moving through into the light, the lesser lights are going to do anything they can to keep us in this low density, because they will disintegrate. They no longer can survive in a high dimensional frequency. And that's perfectly okay, because they're not meant to. So no matter what happens, know that we are in this together, to step up into your love, to own your love. Anything that's going on, love it, bless it, give it to God. You can ask for instant karma, and you get to help be a part of how this world transitions and how this world ends up, because we're all one. We are literally a strand from the same fabric of love and divinity. You're not alone. We have so many light beings out there that are with us, guiding us. They're here on the planet with you, and know that you're protected. These beings are all serving the divine in all the different ways, in all the different forms. And I think that we have millions upon millions in our galaxy that are all here as this experience and as this game. So know, when you look into your stars, if you want to see your family, you can start to say, let me see my star family. Where do I come from? Let the sky talk to you. Be guided. Ask your questions. Ask to show my dreams. Who am I really? What am I? Like, you're here for this time. If you ask that question, start listening to it. What can I do to serve? What can I do to show up? And sometimes that might literally just be intentionally. Let's do that right now. Intentionally send love to this planet. And if you imagine wherever you are in this moment, I want you just to send love to where you're standing on, where you're sitting on. Let it just ooze around you and spread. And so your whole home or whole apartment or whole car, wherever you are, just filled with love. And this love keeps expanding and expanding. And it literally is just oozing over every plant, every animal, every building, your city, to your state, to your country, to oceans. And it just keeps going around into the whole entire Mother Earth is surrounded with this love, and this vibration is not only in the planet but around the planet, into our earth, our atmosphere. To all the people that are doing their best to manipulate, we send them love. To all the elected officials right now that are either elected or appointed, we send them love. To all of the countries, to all of the protectors, we send them love. Every drop of water be filled with love. To every ounce of food we fill with love. And as we feel that love, as we said, the gift of what you give, so too shall you receive. So imagine that love just pouring back into you. And breathing that in, feeling that love fill you.
Ow.
Open your eyes, this here and now. And just that simple thing, it's everything.
And we can go there at any time, right?
Anytime you want. One thing I do want, because we're in a stressful place right now, just one quick technique that if you're processing, so it basically, it's going to be a technique that's going to play with both of your brain sides, but it's a way of stopping the trauma from impacting you. When we're in a traumatic state, your brain doesn't know if it's past or present. And so sometimes we get re-triggered old traumas, and then you get re-triggered, and then you have now double the trauma. It's kind of an interesting thing. So I find, because we're in a lot of places right now that are pulling up some of the trauma in people, again, it's just pulling up for you to learn to alchemize it into a love state. It's not judging it. It's just witnessing it. So if you're finding a trauma come up, and anger, any of those deep places of darkness, just know you're there to shine light on it. As soon as you recognize it, see it, come into it as a witness and be like, wow, where is this feeling in my body? Because it doesn't feel, it feels intense. It feels heavy. What is this teaching me? Is it mine? And it doesn't matter if it's yours or not, but if it's not yours, it's just give it away. Even if it's yours, first, I want to make sure you know your lessons. What did it teach you? Thank it. Love it. Because that's your gift that you brought in just for yourself. And then remember to alkalize. So you witness it, recognize, ask your questions, and then you choose. What do you want to do with it? You can give it away. Okay, done. It's gone. And then you pull in what you want. I want to love. I want to feel the divine. I want to be in my center. I want to be whatever it is that you want, right? Appreciation, love, joy, fun, play. That's how we do it. Yes.
Love it.
All right. I think, point one finger and thumb on the other. Doesn't matter which hand.
Okay.
If you have a fist, right? You can kind of see your fist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take my thumb and put it inside the other fingers. And then I take my pointer fingers and put it in that. Yep.
Right?
Yes. And then a slight squeeze on one hand, squeeze in the other, squeeze, squeeze, and you kind of go back and forth and squeezing. Okay.
Okay.
So this is one of the techniques that if you feel yourself in a traumatic thing, or you're crying a lot, you're intense, you'll find you naturally usually sway yourself. That's a natural cradling and rocking. That's totally perfect. And then this is a little thing you can do in a meeting if your boss is yelling at you, or if you're sitting in overwhelming traffic. Obviously not while you're driving if you need to use the steering wheel, but if you're stopped, I'm gonna try this while you're driving. You just kind of squeeze back and forth. And then
I do that naturally.
that's a natural, well, congratulations. That's actually a trauma technique. Now, if I take it out, you can also switch. So it doesn't matter which thumb and which finger, but it's natural left and right. And that will do all kinds of things in the wiring, and it activates the different parts of your brain. But that's a beautiful way to help process. Another real quick is just kind of like that self-hug.
I do that all the time. I like console myself all the time.
Yes, this is havening.
I do this a lot. I'm just like, it's okay.
So important. So that's another way, just squeezing. You can do butterfly, going back and forth, but this is really good. And then the slow breath. Breath is so important. Remember prana. Prana is our life force energy. You literally breathe in life force. And then it says, as you exhale, it takes away anything that of which stops you. So anything that no longer serves you, let go. That's part of my grounding. When I have a 2-lane highway coming from my root chakra all the way to the core of the earth, one lane is going down into the core, wrap around into the core of the earth, and literally all the things that I want to let go of that no longer serve me, it naturally pulls right out of my body. And then that second lane coming right up from the core goes right into your body. And she gives me this beautiful light energy. And so this white light, golden light, whatever color you desire, silver, whatever you want, it just comes right up. I like to do white. Perfectly just starts pumping into my body, and my whole body is surrounded with pure divine love. It's a beautiful way to ground. See yourself grounding into the core of the earth. And remember that deep breath. Grounding. You can actually put your feet on the dirt. Grounding, literally. There's blankets that you can ground. There's all kinds of things you can ground. Saltwater baths, ground your body. So just know that there is all these beautiful things out there.
Beautiful.
All right. I honor you. It is my pleasure that if you're feeling symptoms, ask, is this for me to process? Is this mine? Am I to learn? Everything is a gift. Everything is to learn. And know that we're taking on so much for the collective.
Be gentle with ourselves.
Yes. Kindness. If you wouldn't talk that way to your child or your
friend.
Yes, your best friend, your grandparent, your baby, then stop talking to yourself that way. And don't judge yourself for doing it. You just have to witness it and choose better. So if you find yourself in those negative thought patterns, cancel, erase, replace. The cancels for my mom. I kind of do the cancel, erase, and replace.
I see cancel, clear, but.
Yeah, perfect. And that's in the right ways, no wrong ways, but it's that intention. It can be very easy.
Yeah, it's intention. It's not necessarily always the word, right? The intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am so honored. I'm going to stop the YouTube live, but I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this. And Esme, I love that you joined me, and our friend from Australia, and it was Maria. Like, it's so good for you, Christina.
We love you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Oh my goodness. It's my honor. I'm honored.
Oh.
And I love everyone. I love all you ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Breathe in your love. It's time, people. It's time.
It is. It's time.
All right.
Okay.
Love and light.
Love and light always.